Greetings, adventurers. I invite you to an evening of storytelling, for I have in my possession the tales of the four who ventured to the land of Sol. The human, the halfling, the tabaxi, and the owlin. Whatever personal reasons to which they traveled to this land, whatever they found, changed their lives forever. Within these pages are tales of sadness, triumph, and most importantly, adventure. I do hope you enjoy these tales. Come, join me round this campfire, and let us dive into these pages together. Hello everybody, welcome to episode 15 of Born From Us, recorded on the 18th of August 2024. I'm joined by our lovely party, Ferrari, Jackson, Velvet, and Cassinity. They are at the Feywild, or the Witchlight Carnival. In our previous episode, our party now find themselves at the Witchlight Carnival. Good times and good laughs have already been had, and now it's time for a little bit more. What will they find? Who will they meet? And will they make it to the Feywild? Only time will tell. So everyone, we're going to pick up right where we left off in our previous session. You have wandered over to the lost property after having a very strange interaction at the Hall of Illusions with Candlefoot and a marriage proposal gone terribly wrong. And you saw a poor man snatched through a mirror to what you can only presume was a different realm. You've already been at the Dragonfly rides. You've had a wonderful time at the feasting orchard. You've even spent a little time on the gondola swans, speaking to, I think her name was Featherine. And now you find yourselves at Lost Property, and I'm going to read a little thing that's prepared on D&D Beyond for the Witchlight Carnival. Outside the Lost Property wagon is a large feline creature with midnight blue fur. I'm going to close my window. Today has been zero noise, and now as soon as I start recording, it's got loud.
Oh, that's just how it happens.
So we're going to start with, outside the Lost Property wagon is a large feline creature with midnight blue fur. It has a pair of tentacles extending from its shoulders and wears fake butterfly wings. Hanging from its collar is a small wooden keg. The creature roughhouses with two young boys. One boy squeals, "Again, Durla, again," while the other hangs onto the creature's neck. Did you all wander to the Lost Property wagon?
Is the creature being hurt or just played with?
Or a perception check. First roll of the session.
Perception check. I rolled a 19.
Yeah. This creature is just roughhousing with two young boys.
Okay. Aww.
It's up to you boys, up to you fellas what you want to do. I'm going to get my Witchlight dice.
Who actually has the ring?
The what?
That's probably the person who should.
I feel like Ferrari probably has it.
Yeah.
I think so too.
The one who enjoys tiny things.
Heck off. Ferrari is going to approach and say, "Excuse me, I seem to have found some lost property that I would like to hand in."
The very large feline creature stands itself up, allowing the two young boys to clamber down and sit somewhere comfortable while they wait. And it looks you up and down and gestures over to what seems to be a few wooden boxes where lost property is left.
Thank you. And she wanders over and looks in them before dropping it in.
Okay.
All right, well, that seems to be taken care of. Is there anything else we need to do here, everyone?
Don't we need to help the dude find his voice?
Yes. But I don't suppose that would be in Lost and Found now, would it be?
I mean, if he lost his voice, maybe.
Well, not to be that guy, but had it been here, I think this would have been the absolute first place he checked.
Well, she questioned it.
Are you guys speaking? Are you guys speaking like quite loudly with each other, just having a casual conversation?
No. Ferrari is not.
I am.
What about you, Jackson? You were a part of that.
I think, honestly, like he is trying to be a little quieter, as well. I think.
Okay. Roll me a stealth check at disadvantage. Both of you.
Me?
Okay.
No, Ferrari and
Oh.
Jackson are the ones that are trying to.
You're
be
not attempting to. That's a 3.
quiet.
At
3.
disadvantage. Oh boy. Ferrari. That's a 10.
Okay. So a 13. Let me quickly roll something. As you're speaking, and you're not being as quiet as you... The carnival's loud. You being quiet is probably speaking at a normal volume, trying to keep below already the loud atmosphere that's going on. And the displacer beast kind of wanders over to you, flicking its tail inquisitively, and looks at you all and goes, "Are you in the business of helping?"
We are, yes.
Well, I seem to be in a little spot of bother.
Oh, what's wrong?
Delagar kind of like shakes her head, and looks at you all and goes, "Well, there's a missing child at the Witchlight Carnival."
Oh.
That's not very good.
Do you know what the child looks like? Find descriptions.
I have a little, and you see these blessed species looking around quite a lot, trying to make sure they're not being watched. I'll get you a picture of what this displacer beast looked like as well. I'll put it in Born From Us for you all to have a little look at Delagar. Or Dilagron. I'm just going to call her Derla, because her name is very difficult to speak.
Aww.
So cute.
The child looks terrifying, but aww.
So what did you last say?
What's a description of the child? So we know what we're looking for, and we're not just gonna kidnap a random child.
So as she's looking around, she goes, "Before I tell you, I must warn you that some things at the Witchlight Carnival go missing and never come back. I hope you are aware."
Oh, we saw someone go through a mirror earlier.
I say she goes to speak something, but one of the young boys, the two of the young boys that she was looking after, run over to the lost property and pick up like a mirrored ball from a lost property wagon. And you see Derla stand up and snarl, her tentacles flicking towards the two boys, and they run away almost like a fear. And you see Derla is almost ashamed of herself. She like looks and shakes her head and goes, "Please go after them. I apologize. Please."
It's okay. We'll go get them.
Yeah, I think Jackson at that point would have just like took off.
Right,
Not
yeah.
like aggressively chasing them, but like after them.
Okay, whoever's looking for these two young boys, it's a perception check.
Perception
Perception?
check.
Perception. I got a 10.
Out of 17.
I have a 18.
And Velvet?
That's a 5.
Okay, so only Ferrari and Jackson clock on, and they find the young boy by a nearby candy stall, who is kind of shaking a little scared of what just happened with Derla's moment of anger.
Jackson, I got this.
Okay, I'll just keep an eye out.
Ferrari's gonna approach and kind of kneel down a bit and hold her wings out and say, hello.
You see, he's not saying anything, but he's looking at you with a very scared expression.
She's awfully sorry for her anger. It's just her responsibility to make sure none of those items get misplaced or touched. They're other people's possessions, and she would get in trouble if they were taken by people who don't own them.
You see, he steps out from almost beneath the candy stall, and he steps to you all, like clutching like this candy he's clearly stolen, but no one's paying no mind, as everything here is free. But he steps to you all, and I presume all of you lead them back to lost property.
Yeah.
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 As
Well,
you do,
while I'm going back, I want to see if anything is amiss, or if anything is not as it seems.
okay. Roll me a perception check, and then try to tell me what you're specifically looking for, because it's a very wide check.
I'm looking specifically if like that was a distraction for something, as I know things have been going on.
Okay, it'd be a pretty intense check,
Fine.
but you can roll me a investigation or no insight. We'll do an insight check.
Okay. All right. That is 19 on insight.
Nothing seems out of place. This just seems like an actual moment where Derla seemed to be having like a rash moment of anger and scared this boy that she was looking after.
Gotcha. Alrighty.
You lead back. Derla immediately jumps up and rushes over to the young boy and pulls him in and like surrounds him and nuzzles him with her head and sits him back to where they were all together. And she looks up to you and she seems very grateful. She's like, "Thank you. That was a unprofessional moment for me. I'm quite sorry. I would have rushed after myself, but again, there's another young boy here I have to care for. But thank you." And she does seem really apologetic. Her ears are flat, her tail isn't flicking, and she seems to be attending to this young boy as if it was her own cub. And she's very attentive, purring, and looks you all. And she goes, "I couldn't let what happened at the previous Witchlight happen again. That would have been terrible."
Something happened at a previous Witchlight?
Well, many years ago, I lost my young cub's star.
Aw.
Disappeared from the carnival without a trace, and I've questioned Mr. Witch and I've questioned Mr. Light, and nothing came up. And the reason I got so upset is the mirror ball. It was my cub's favorite toy, and anyone who touches it, it's precious to me, you see. And if anything was to happen to it, that's the last thing I have of him. And I couldn't lose him.
Completely understandable then.
Well, if we can do anything to help, just please ask. We're trying to do what we can.
Well, I would ask for some help. The carnival right now it's troubled times, you see, and Mr. the Witch and Mr. Light are on edge all the time. And if you're willing to investigate, I would be very appreciative. But please don't question them directly. It's not good for business, you see.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you could keep an eye on them, you could probably sneak into the staff area, just behind the big top, you see, and try to gather some information that would be the best for you.
Well, we'll keep that in mind.
Thank you.
Thanks for the info.
Of course, and thank you for grabbing him. I don't know what I would have done to myself if he didn't return.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, everyone, you can raise the mood tracker up by 1. Oh,
Wow.
happy
That
smiles
mood tracker's
around.
looking pretty high there.
But that's big top time. Speaking of which, did we move the time last time we played?
We only moved it once.
Then when did I move that?
I think either before or after the Swans. It was definitely around that time.
Before Swans at Feasting Orchid.
Okay, so then we will move the timer up by 1. We're 1 hour away from the big top extravaganza.
The big Rennie.
The big top. Shut up. So,
Damn.
wherever you guys wish to go, you have the entire carnival to explore and enjoy.
I've never been on a carousel. What is that like?
Honestly, I couldn't tell you. Not something I've ever partaken in.
Well, we did pass it by.
If we wish to just explore around here for a little bit, I'm just going to, I think, focus on keeping an eye out and see if any more mischief comes up. That might be some leads that we have if anything does.
Were you guys
transpire.
past the carousel? I will ask you this because I didn't ask when we were there. Was anybody looking at the carousel when you were passing by the dragonfly, the feasting orchids, and whatnot?
Probably not. I see.
I probably would have seen the lights, but I never really paid attention.
I
would be
think at
looking
that
around.
at that point, Jackson would have been on the lookout for anything after the
roll
dragonfly
me
incident.
a-
So
We'll do a history check. We'll roll with advantage since it's, recent event.
History. 16 and 5, so 16.
13 for me.
When you guys were passing, you did see the carousel was not moving, and there was a fair few witchlight hands around trying to figure out what was going on.
Well, let's wander over that way, see what's going on, see if we can do anything to help.
Ooh, carousel time.
Okay, move your token over to the carousel.
Carousel.
Okay, you reach the carousel. A procession of wooden horses stand motionless on a circular wooden platform. Fairgoers clamber onto the backs of unicorns, and a female centaur sets the ride in motion as you approach, with the unicorns shake their manes and creak to life, cantering around the carousel to the delight of their riders. You see a very peculiar sight, a centaur which you have not seen yet in your adventures thus far. I'll put a picture and Born From Us of what this individual looks like. That is not her.
That's not the right one.
That is a displacer beast.
That's
That yeah, I was going to say. That's another.
How about this?
No.
I love when things work.
Just a few technical difficulties here on our end. We'll just.
Technical difficulties. Oh, technical difficulties.
There you go.
There we go. That's more
Oh,
like it.
she's pretty.
Oh,
Yeah, she's pretty.
Okay. You see a centaur standing there, arms crossed, looking a little disheveled would be the other way I could describe it. She's looking around as the carousel gets about halfway and then sort of stops. And she sighs, shakes her head, gets everybody off, apologizes profusely, and guides them back to the ticket booth to get the ticket punch removed. As she looks over and shakes her head.
oh, what's wrong?
Are you approaching, or are you saying that from a distance?
I thought we're closer. I'm approaching.
Yeah.
She looks over and sees you all adventurers. That's pleasant. Don't see much of you around these days.
Just up and about. Figured
Members
we'd
of the
come by
society,
and
no
see what's
less.
up. They've been doing a lot of work to try to expand around here in recent times.
I see. Well, are you in the business of helping?
That's sort of part of the job description.
Well, I don't know what is wrong with the carousel. Mr. Witch and Mr. Light have been hounding me all afternoon and all evening to get it working, and I've asked as many Witchlight hands as I could ask, and asked as many people like yourselves to help, and nothing has really worked. If you could figure something out for me, I will shut down the ride, and I'll get the riders back up on there in no time. And you see, she sort of moves back to out of your way, and her legs don't seem to cooperate quite well. It's like, to the left, and she kind of sidesteps, kind of uncomfortable with her own body at the moment.
I wouldn't. The switch that she uses to control it, I want to go there and just follow it, looking for anything that's broken.
Okay. What's everyone else doing?
I'm gonna inspect the actual carousel itself and see if anything is if anything looks different than the rest of the ride, if anything's been tampered with.
Okay.
Mari's gonna fly up to the rooftop of it to look at the top.
Okay. And Velvet, how about yourself?
I'm gonna look for small things that might be wrong.
More mechanical things.
Yeah, just the things that I would notice.
Okay, so everybody roll me an investigation check, and one at a time, just for the editor's sake. Say your numbers.
Mhm.
Let's go down the list in Discord of saying it so that we know.
So Michael first.
I got a 10.
Okay. I got a 15.
I got a 16.
I got a 7.
Luckily, it's a group check.
Um,
And all of you are looking around. Those that are on like the main platform with the carousel, you see 8 carousel unicorns in pairs, each wearing name tag on its bridle. Some names are legible, while some names are quite worn and like indecipherable. You start to you push how do you describe it? You're pushing around the center column of the carousel, and some parts of it sort of shift into place, like the mechanism had slipped out at some point, and you kind of put it together, and you see the first pair of unicorns, Mr. Cassinity, Mr. Goodberry. You're by this first pair, and you're looking at their names, and one of the named unicorns is Fortune, and the other one is Bold. And you see the mechanism that you have pushed together sort of reads out in a language that you seemingly you don't understand at first, but as you're looking, it kind of pieces itself together, and it seems to be a phrase.
Wait, Fortune Bold.
So the first,
What's it called?
did you say that out loud, Velvet, as a character?
Do I know it?
Did you say it out loud? You're all together by this first pair of unicorns.
I was saying that because I know the saying, but like, I'm not saying that as a character. Does my character know the language?
As you, you all,
If I can read it.
you all recognize this. It all
Yeah, but,
shifts,
okay, but
shifts
yeah,
itself.
I
As you're saying this, the second unicorn, which name was a little bit worn out, you see it begins to form into the word bold. And the 2 unicorns almost seemingly move and recognize one another. And it seems something is working. And as you're looking at the other pairs of unicorns, they all seem to have names and phrases attached to them. And we're going to go through the pairs together. I'm going to assign a pair to one of you, and you will have to figure out the phrase, okay?
Oh boy.
Velvet, you've solved the first one, so the second pair is going to be Jackson. The third pair will be Mr. Goodberry, and the fourth pair will be Ferrari, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So on the second pair, which is Jackson, you're looking at these 2 unicorns, and you shift the mechanism back into place, and it forms into a phrase. You see the unicorn. One of the unicorn's names you can't tell what it is. It is illegible, but the other one is Bald. And
Pride before the fall.
there you go. As you say this, Pride shapes into the side of the unicorn, and they recognize each other, and a very almost like mechanical Winnie, but a Winnie nonetheless. And the third pair is Mr. Cassinity, and you shift the mechanism, you see the phrase, and you check the unicorn's names. One of the names is Stone, and the proverb on the wall is a rolling stone.
Wait. Rolling Stone.
Mm-hmm.
Wait.
So there are 2 unicorns. One of the names is incomplete, can't read, but the one name you can read is Stone. And the proverb on the wall is half complete, and the proverb reads a rolling stone.
Pretty vague.
I feel like we all had easy mode until
Yeah.
because it stood up and just I don't know that one either.
I know that's a band. I actually have no idea.
Okay, we'll let you think, and we'll go to the last pair, which is Ferrari. Ferrari, you check the 2 unicorns.
Mm-hmm.
The only name that is complete is the name Stitches,
Mm-hmm.
and the second one you don't recognize, but half of the proverb reads a stitch in time.
Oh, Stitch in time saves 9.
And as you say this, the mechanism clacks to life. The name is completed on the horse, and it whinnies to life. And now all of you gather around Mr. Casaniti, who stood there looking at his proverb and his horses. And again, the proverb half is a rolling stone.
I don't know. I
actually have no idea.
None of you have any idea what this proverb could be.
No, I've never heard of it before.
Okay.
Which is weird because I've gone through this module before.
You have. As you guys are all stood around this last pair of horses that isn't clicking for you just yet, you're a collection of hoofs on wood, and Diana is behind you. And the horses that you have finished, she is painting the names onto the side of them, kind of like finalizing their names for you. And she looks at what's wrong, adventurers?
A rolling stone.
A rolling stone?
We can't figure this one out.
What are we figuring out? I'm not familiar with the mechanism. I usually don't work the carousel, you see.
The name of this other horse, it's a proverb.
Oh, that's interesting. Like, I don't really work the carousel, you see. I'm usually working in the big top or the staff area, but Mr. Witch and Mr. Light insisted I was on the carousel this trip. And as she's talking and she's painting, you do see there's sort of a sadness behind her eyes.
A rolling stone. A rolling stone. God. Oh. Fellas, my brain's just recalled the fucking proverb.
What is it?
A rolling stone gathers no moss.
And as Ferrari speaks those words, Moss's name is etched into the side, and a whinny to life, and all of the lights and all of the beautiful music begins to arise from the carousel. And Diana, Centaur, not her name, you don't know her name yet. Reverse. She walks over and sort of half smiles. Again, she looks very sad. There is something behind her eyes where she's struggling with, and she sort of kneels down as best the horse can and begins painting the name in Moss's side.
What seems to be wrong, dear Centaur?
Firstly, I'm not a centaur.
What are you?
I was a human who made a bad deal.
What's the deal?
She looks at you all, and since you've done her this solid, she comes to the conclusion that she's going to tell you, and she looks. Listen, I was a human who made a bad deal a long time ago, where I bargained with something, and my dear horse, and she pats her horse body, and we were fused together.
Oh.
It could be worse.
We were fused together, and I've been trying to get it fixed ever since, but I ended up here at the Witchlight Carnival, since the thing I made a deal with was a hag, of course.
Oh.
Jackson's kind of perks up when he hears that and just, do you know specifically which hag you made a deal with?
Oh, goodness, it was quite some time ago, and no, not really. It's been too long, and I've been here so many years and seen so many faces. It's a lot of things going on, so I can't recall.
What's the name of the one that we know, Jackson?
Dolores.
Does that name ring a bell for you? Man?
Roll something. Dolores, no, not in my time of being on this plane. No.
Well, if you ever do remember or anything else trickles into your memory, we are in the business of dealing with hags, so
Braver than most. I thought I would be able to get a good deal, but no, fused with my dear horse at the hips. Well, since you did me so that I can give you a free ride on the carousel if you wish.
Jackson kind of looks at everyone else like, if you guys are interested, you guys may.
Right on the carousel. Ferrari's having an existential crisis.
Would I fit on the? Can I
Yeah.
climb onto them?
The children come to the carnival. You can fit.
Okay.
Diana will say that to you, dear, that we have children who attend the carnival. You will fit just fine.
Okay.
Ferrari's having an existential crisis.
You see, she folds her arms after setting the paint to the side and steps off the carousel. Well, those that are riding, find your horses, and I will open the gates for the children and those who wish to ride the carousel.
Ferrari's getting on moss.
Jackson's gonna step in, if he can, stand by the centaur. I don't think he's going to ride this one.
Okay, so those that are riding, you sit on the carousel, and it's quite a pleasant little carousel. The music is very fey in its nature, very whimsical, very lots of percussion. And as it's going around, Diana's not smiling, her arms are crossed, and just a loud sigh as she stood next to Jackson.
Jackson will kind of look over and just, may I ask your name, madam?
Diana Cloppington. Not my choice of word.
Well, Diana, you seem quite not enthused with your current line of work, if I may suspect. You're not entirely fond of this work, are you? Or are you just sort of...
No, I'd rather be out there and adventuring and seeing the world, really.
Well, what's stopping you? This deal, I'm assuming, that you made?
Well, Mr. Witch and Mr. Light have assured me that they will be able to help me with my situation as long as I work at the Witchlight for a little while.
How long are they making you work? You said you've been here for quite a while.
Yes, I've been here for a few years now.
Jackson's sort of like, kind of nodding along and just... So, let's say we were able to put a word in, get you out of this certain situation you find yourself in. Would that make things a little better?
It would definitely make them more bearable, yes.
Jackson sort of nods. And he goes, yeah, I could try doing that, but is it alright if I ask you something in return?
Of course.
You see, he kind of looks around a bit, making sure like nobody is around, and he goes, I've been noticing a few people have been going missing, and we're currently trying to make our way into the Feywild on some more personal business. Would you know how exactly we could go about doing such a thing in the easiest manner possible?
Well, I spoke with Durla a little while ago. She was saying things do go missing quite frequently. This isn't the first I haven't heard of things going missing at the Witchlight. Are you trying to get to the fair? Why would you want to go to such a place? It's personal. I apologize. Honestly, the best people to speak with is Mr. Witch and Mr. Light, but getting an audience with them is almost as rare as getting a ticket to Witchlight.
Well, I did manage to get a ticket to Witchlight, so I think my odds are a little bit better.
Well, getting an audience with them is, well, by your reputation and what I've already heard of you adventurers, that you're already building quite the rapport. I would attend the big top and try to get their attention. Or you could be brazen and brass and wander straight into the staff area and have a chat.
I'd rather not cause any issues if I could possibly avoid it.
Well, there's not much security here. There's not like they're not stopping you. They do have a bugbear, Burley, his name. He's sort of their ear and their voice when they're not around. Maybe speaking with Burley would lessen the work to get an audience with Mr. Witch and Mr. Light.
Well, thank you. That's very good information. You see, kind of looks, and he had noticed she had asked, and then kind of like brushed it off. and he says, "Yeah, just so you know, that business of taking care of hags is currently kind of the reason we're here as well. So that's why we were asking about your situation earlier. We were on the hunt for a particular one that has been doing a bit more kidnapping than usual."
See, I'm gonna roll something real fast. Okay. As you're saying this, she looks at you. Well, since you've done me this, you're not the first to come here to ask to get to the Feywild, you see. And it is oddly similar to what you mentioned about wanting to speak with a hag or deal with a hag.
Really? Who was this other person? Anything special about him, or?
Well, I've only seen them in passing and only heard through the other Witchlight hands. You speak to Durla, I presume. I don't know where you've been in the Feywild, the Witchlight Carnival. Goodness gracious. Well, Durla knows a little bit, and if you've met Featherine, she is quite the gossip girl. She might have some information for you.
Ah, yes. I'll definitely speak with those people then. But thank you very much.
Of course.
If there's anything else you need, just feel free to let us know.
I definitely will. And as this conversation comes to an end, all the carousel also finishes its rounds of music coming to an end, and the kids cheering, and those who are on sort of enjoying themselves, and you all dismount and regroup on the path just outside of the carousel.
I was cheering with the kids.
I'm dizzy. Very dizzy. I don't think birds are supposed to spin like that.
Well, did you guys enjoy it? Was it working properly? I imagine it looked like it was.
Birds are not supposed to spin like that.
Jax will just kind of like put a hand on her shoulder, just be like, "You'll be fine. Just something to get used to."
No,
but
but I will not get used to it. I am never getting on one of those again. I can hear the Fae.
We'll pause here for a second while the fucking ice cream truck passes the house.
We should make the outro music the ice cream truck.
Not above.
We might get in trouble with it.
Copyright.
I doubt. I probably.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
probably,
is it copyrighted?
It's probably out of copyright for a while now.
Yeah, you never know who might try.
It's been here since the 1800s. Like,
Anything
Oh,
over
what's the song
100,
called?
anything over 100 years should be out of copyright.
It should be. Is the
the
good
mouse
thing.
is going down.
I'll ask you all. Where would you guys like to head now?
Forward.
It's
Onward.
probably-
I will relay the information I got to the rest of the group as we're standing there as well.
We're always helping the people here. We're awesome.
Yes.
No.
Death.
Look at
No.
Ferrari. Yes, we are. Anyway, let's go to the big top.
Is it big? It's not Big Top Hour yet, though.
Should be close to
Come
Big
get set
Top
up.
Hour.
You guys still have a little time before the big top extravaganza begins.
Well, there
Um,
is.
Small racing. The mystery bites. The entire circle.
Well, while you guys are deciding, Velvet, roll me d8.
Huh? Why?
Give me d8.
Oh no! What? Why?
Give me d8.
Roll
Six.
for trauma.
6.
A 6. So as you're all walking, you see a fairly plump man walking by with a handful of cotton candy in one and a bucket of popcorn in the other, who is laughing and cheering with his friends as they're walking by. And all of a sudden, in a puff of glitter, the man's head turns into a donkey who is making an horrific sound, and you see a sort of a group of pixies in the nearby area giggling as they dart off into the night as you guys are wandering to where?
All right.
Where haven't we been yet?
Well,
So we're just gonna ignore that.
small racing.
Only Velvet saw
Mystery
that.
Mine, Bubble Pop Teapot. The Pixie Kingdom.
Well, I will say all of you just saw what just happened to this man.
Oh,
His head
okay.
was turned into a braying donkey by a group of pixies who just darted off into the night.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Very tame for pixie tricks, as far
Are
as
we
I can
going
tell.
to ignore that, or
It's just pixies doing pixie things. I've had a few encounters of my own that are the same sort of
have you been
Trixie
turned
nature.
into a donkey, Jackson?
not no. That is something I can say that I've never had happen to me.
Not no.
Well, it can. There's a picture dots away.
Madam Pixie,
She's gone. She's disappeared.
I was gonna offer to return this bag of pixie dust because I have no need for it.
Well, you might want to keep it just in case.
Why?
You never
So I
know
can
what could happen.
throw it at someone?
Yes.
Well, yeah.
Like that mythical hero, Peter Pan or something.
That's. I don't
That's
think
okay.
Peter Pan was a hero, but okay.
Peter Spam.
Alright, what's the guy with the bow, stealing from the rich, take from the poor?
That's
What
Robin.
happened?
No, that wasn't.
That's
Yeah,
Robin. That's Robin Good.
That was Robin's Good.
Legally distinctly different. Robin Good.
Yes. If we have a little bit of time, we've kind
Peter's
of been around this.
Hand, Robin Good.
Guys, how about this? As you guys are
Snow
wandering
White.
to your next area while you're still deciding, you pass by a handful of games and stalls which you can interact with. You do pass by one that seems to be like a ring toss if anybody wants to take part.
Jackson,
Let's go,
toss
Jackson.
rings.
Just kind of looks over at it, just, all right.
Ferrari claps her feathered wings, and it's muffled because she has feathers.
no.
No, it's more like a.
Okay, let me quickly get the ring toss game up while you guys
Ring toss.
toss.
After this, just to put it out for everyone, if we want to hit down to the mystery mine, we're kind of already going in that direction anyway, so we can try that. Give that a try.
Let's do it.
We're at the carnival, everyone. Hi, let's go.
Let's go!
Hey,
I'm not used to hearing carnival
approach,
music.
You see a red and white striped individual in kind of little red and white striped pinstripe suit with a little top hat.
red and white stripe, pinstripe, hype, stripe.
Lots of stripes. He's a very stripy man. Red and white stripes on his suit.
He has a lot of stripes.
And he is flailing around his top hat as you approach, and he goes, "This all mirage is no mirage. Adorn its horn with 2 or 3 rings to win a prize. Sir, would you like to toss a ring at a wooden all mirage?"
Yes.
To those that don't know what all mirage is, it's basically a rabbit with a unicorn horn.
Funny.
That's
funny. A bunny.
Again, 2 or 3 rings to win a prize, sir. And he hands you 3 rings, and
Okay.
I need some dexterity checks.
Yeah, I knew this wasn't going to go very well.
Jackson, let me toss them.
Dexterity checks, you said?
Yes.
I will give it a try first.
Okay.
Oh, not a 14.
You toss it out, it goes, and it misses.
Oh boy.
And he goes, "Oh, a miss, good sir. You have 2 more tries." Okay, no. What? Hold on.
Sir, do you smell burnt toast? Do you smell burnt toast?
having a stroke.
You're just spitting on you at this point.
It's all mirages. No mirage. Adorn its horn with 2 or 3 rings, sir. Well, 2. You only have throw, please.
That is going to be a dirty 20.
You throw it. It spins around the horn as it lands on him, and he goes, "Oh, a land by the young name, sir."
Jackson.
Jackson.
For
I
this
just
one, we
called
give
him.
Jackson a pat on the back. Then guidance is going to be cast.
I would say your height. You're probably touching his ass.
Give him a little pat on the ass.
Well, go on, champ.
Give him, give him a pat. You got the son.
God, I don't know if I want it. Oh. So that's a D4?
Yes.
Oh.
Let's. Yeah, another dirty 20 with the guidance.
So it lands around the Ormirage's head, and the little wooden statue comes to life for a brief second, giving you a bow, and the ring's falling off, and the individual goes, "Oh, a winner, a winner! Well done, sir, well done. Now, would you like a prize?"
Sure, why not?
He
That
reaches
won't
into his
say
coat, roll me a d8.
D8. Alrighty, let me. I need to find that one of my set here.
Oh Jesus.
Okay, I found it. 7.
You reach in, and he pulls out a very plush-looking little spider. And having this spider
So
as an
cute.
action, you gain the benefit of spider climb for 1 hour. But when you use this ability, the spider, he goes, and if you use the little magic within this little thing, it will become a real spider and run away.
No. I'm gonna keep it as a pet.
Now, to the rest of you, would you like to attempt the game? All mirage is no mirage. Adorn its horn with 2 or 3 rings.
Give me the rings.
Yeah, he produces
me.
3 golden rings, and he produces another 3 to Mr. King Goodberry. We have, and you, our tabaxi friend, would you like to take part in the tossing of the ring?
Oh, sure. Why
The
not?
one ring to rule some of them.
Hey, thanks for being legally distinct there.
Of course, like
See
Robin
that.
Good.
I'm gonna roll my dice first. Oh fuck.
Yes, 3
Dex check.
dex checks.
That's gonna be an 18 to start.
So the first ring lands, and you get. He goes, "Oh, we have a ring! A 2, 1 more, a 2. A ring of breath."
Don't stop it. That's bad for your health. She's gonna throw the second one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's gonna be a nat 20.
Okay. That's, 2 rings, 1 more, and you get 2 prizes.
2. Oh, that's sexy. That's gonna be a dirty 20.
Jackson in the background.
That's gonna be a dirty 20.
As you throw this last one, the All Mirage shifts, a little teleport, if you will, and it lands just shy of the All Mirage. And he goes, "Oh, unfortunate, but you do get a prize. Would you like a prize, dear?"
That teleported.
Oh, yes, part of the game.
No.
Yes,
No.
yes. Would you like a
Yes.
prize?
No.
Would you like a prize?
No.
No.
Just take.
That's not part of the game.
Just take the prize.
And you sure?
Give me the
it's a-
prize.
Oh,
It's a fate.
I'm unhappy.
you're an. Oh, I'm sorry, dear, but it is part of the game. He reaches in, roll me
No.
It's the fate.
Ferrari's very unhappy.
Roll the D8.
I rolled a 4.
Oh, you got it?
D8. He
Gotcha.
reaches in. Right, what have I got for you, dear? And he pulls out a bottle of wine, Witchlight wine.
1 second, I'll be back.
Mm-hmm.
And for you, dear, a bottle of Witchlight's finest wine.
Weenie.
It does do this by chance, and he reaches in, pops the cork, and it begins to play calliope music, and then closes it. Now, don't spoil the wine, of course. And he hands you the bottle.
Thanks.
He sees you're a little upset. And he goes, "I'm sorry, dear. I don't tend to upset people here at the Witchlight Carnival. But you see people around you seem to be a little bit upset, and we're going to drop the mood tracker by 1." He turns to Mr. Goodberry and Velvet. Now, for you two, would you also like to partake in the game?
I would.
3 rings to win 2, or 2 rings to win 1, good sir.
He said it's a dexterity.
Dexterity check, yes, please.
Watch me fail this. Like this. I got a 10.
Again, the little All Mirage seems to teleport around the little stand that it's on, making it difficult for you to land. And you miss your first ring. Goes, "Oh, how unfortunate! 2 more, sir. 2 more."
I got a 11.
It lands short again. "Oh, sir, I apologize. Last ring. Here we go."
A 10.
All 3 rings landing short of their target. As he looks, he goes, "Oh, I'm so sorry, sir. I apologize." but I do hope you had fun.
I did.
Very
Thank you.
good. He turns to the tabaxi. Now, for you, dear.
Tabaxi, I see how it is.
I don't know your name.
Rennie, I didn't.
I know, I'm fucking with you.
Pretty boy. Uh-huh.
Now, 3
Oh.
rings to ring 2, or what? 2 rings to ring 1. Wait. Dex
Yes.
checks, please.
This man is having a stroke, and we're just sitting here watching.
ambulance, I'm having a stroke.
22.
The first ring lands true. While teleporting, you catch it as it comes out of a little teleport, and you land the first ring. And again, a cheer from the little crowd behind you and himself. Oh, hey, marksman amongst us, folks. A marksman.
I guess you could say that. I'm pretty good with my hands. Anyway. Next ring. Oh, not one.
You toss this ring. It's flying through the air. And in your excitement for landing the first, you throw this one a little too hard and you hit the All Mirage in its little wooden nose, and it stops for a second and rubs it with its little wooden hands and begins teleporting again.
Oh, baby. Oh, poor baby. Third ring.
Third ring,
Come on, big money. That is a 13.
and it lands just short. Oh, unfortunately, I do hope you had fun, though. Did you have fun?
Yes.
Very
A
good.
question to you, Mirage Keeper.
Yes!
Where can you get one of those sweet little babies?
Oh, the All Mirage. That's a secret by Mr. Witch and Mr. Light. I'll put a picture in Bond from us to show what Velvet hit in the face.
They're
Just so we
so,
know,
they're so
they are really cute.
Oh, it's a baby!
Well, I do hope you had fun, folks. Please, do come to see us again soon, as he brings up another crowd, and it begins the whole show again of him just stuttering his words and having fun with everybody. And you're walking down towards, was it the Mystery Mine?
Unless anyone else has any objections, we can head down that way.
Mystery mine,
But that
mystery
was-
mine.
That was definitely got it on her in her mind that she's got to go ask Mr. Witch and Mr. Knight about the All Mirage.
As you're heading down, you do see a couple more games, and I will read them to you. There is a... You see like a mud pit with a fence around it, and a lot of adventuring folks like yourself wrestling some very buff goblins. Really buff goblins.
Hey Jackson, I know where you should go.
I'm staying far away from that.
You guys are not going to let me go until I wrestle some goblins, right? Nope. Are we-
So you're looking into the goblin wrestling, but there are other ones around you. You do see like a very large tent with a man sat inside. You see his body, but not where his head is. He's very tall, and you see outside the little sign says "Outstare the Cyclops." You do see another one with has a very elegant bird within like a cage. It's not a cage, but more like a display piece, and it's preening itself, and it's got a very attentive halfling who is working here, and you see hanging above the little stand here. Guess the feathers on the cockatrice.
You see, I'm an owl, so I don't need to blink that often, and I count my feathers daily. Let me cook.
So the games that are around, who's interested in the goblin wrestling?
Oh, I'm pretty sure everyone wants Jackson too, so Jackson will...
Okay. Who's
Definitely.
interested in guess the feathers on the cockatrice? Nobody's interested in counting
What
feathers.
would that be a roll of? Intelligence?
It would be an intelligence check, yes.
Yeah, no, I'm not interested in that.
What's my intelligence?
Intelligence.
I'm looking at the
Intelligence.
wrong place. I'm not that. I'm actually quite stupid, so no.
Same.
Okay, is anyone interested in Outstare the Cyclops?
What check would that be?
That'd be a constitution check.
I'll do it. Let me cook.
Yeah, no, I'm not interested in any of these. I have horrible strength, mid intelligence, and mid constitution. Literally every other stat other than dexterity is either
do
bad
the
or
Cyclops.
mid.
You're doing the Cyclops? Okay, so Jackson, you head over to the goblin wrestling. These
Wait,
goblins are
Ferrari wants
still
to
the
watch
same height.
Jackson.
They are still quite short in stature, but whatever they're feeding them, these are some big goblins.
Big
Ferrari's
goblin.
not gonna
Big
stare at the Cyclops
goblins.
because he wants to watch Jackson wrestle goblins.
As you're looking over, there's already a contest happening at this time, and you see this short little goblin lift up a fully grown human man and pin him to the ground. As everyone's cheering and laughing and clapping, the goblin helps him up and like pats him on like just the lower back, just like Mr. Goodberry did to you, and he sends him off covered in mud. He's laughing and smiling as he's leaving, and you approach Jackson, and a short goblin, larger stature, walks up, arms folded, chest pumped. He's got a little pump on right now, and he looks to you. You come to do some wrestling,
I think so.
right? Everybody and the other goblins get their corners. You gonna wear your fancy cape?
Veraria holds out her arm. Jackson, I'll hold your cape.
Yeah, he'll take the cape off. He goes, armor, no armor. Should I take the armor off too? Is
I
that
wouldn't
gonna be a
wear it in
problem?
the mud pit. It'll get a bit messy.
Yeah, and he'll take like the armor off and everything before stepping in.
Okay. You step into the mud pit. Goblins at all corners.
So many goblins.
The other goblin you're just talking to steps onto the stand, which he stood on a box to stand at the stand. Alright, the rules of engagement. No eyes, no groin. We got it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the objective is to pin the goblin. Okay? Who steps forward.
A goblin. Any of the goblins here.
A goblin, because it's only you, only one steps out of the corner
Okay.
to face you
Gotcha.
in the center. Short little guy, ripped. Oiled up.
Absolutely.
I don't know where the oil came from, but he's oiled up now. Veins in his body are everywhere. And you collapse arms. Now, it's going to be a contested athletics check, okay?
Athletics check.
That's the worst for me.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
As this happens, can I go into a rage at any point during this to get advantage on that athletics check, or is that going to be a no?
You can roll. Yeah, you can rage into this.
Yeah, I think it's definitely not like a normal rage, but it'll be helpful.
You get a little amped up as you collapse
Little
arms with this
amped up,
goblin.
yeah.
And the goblin goes, "Whoa, buddy, not like this!" And he whistles over a second goblin, who
Let's
also
do it.
collapses with you. Now I'm gonna
Let's
roll.
do it.
And now roll your athletics check.
Alrighty.
The goblin rolled a 16.
I rolled a 23.
You shrug off one of the goblins, and you manage to get one to the ground, but the other one is still up. He rushes you, grabs you by the by almost like around your collarbone, and he rolls a 14.
Okay, you want me to roll again?
Mm-hmm. You have to pin the second goblin.
Pin the second goblin. Yeah, one second, sorry. That's an 18 for me.
So you push down the second goblin with quite some ease, and the other goblin in the corner sees this, and he rushes over.
Bring it on!
Make another athletics check. He rolled a 19.
I rolled a 20. Dirty
He
20.
rushes over, and you lift one goblin out of the mud and slam the goblin into the other goblin and pin a goblin with a goblin. Much to the delight of the crowd cheering and clapping. You all see this display of goblin wrestling taking place.
Goblin.
The almost like the lead goblin of this is just clapping. All right, that's enough. Don't rough them up too bad. And they get up and shrug off. They all give you a handshake, pat you on the back, covering you in mud. But as you hop back over the fence and your feet land on the other side, the mud vanishes as all the goblins are clicking their fingers, casting prestidigitation as you're all cleaned up.
Ferrari's feathers seem a bit ruffled.
The manager walks over and goes, "Right, lad, would you like a prize?"
Yeah, sure, that was quite good fun.
He reaches into his very muddy shorts and roll me a d8.
I knew there was a reason I took the barbarian sub multi-class. It was for that specific game right there. That'll be 2 for me.
A 2. Okay.
A 2.
Let me get my prizes real quick.
Jackson, a goblin, oiled up, who's wearing the twerk off.
Shut up.
So you said you got a 2, correct?
A 2, yes.
Okay, he reaches into his shorts, pulling out what seems to be a little wand.
Oh.
And he hands it to you. This wand has 8 charges. As an action, you can use one of the charges to cast a prestidigitation cantrip.
Okay, cool.
And we'll head over to the next game, which is Outstare the Cyclops with Mr. Goodberry. Mr. Goodberry, after watching a good spot of goblin wrestling, you clap up and you lead your friends into the Outstare the Cyclops game.
Mm-hmm.
Before you head in, the person running this steps forward. It must be like an elven fellow in the same bright, colourful uniform as the other Witchlight hands. Welcome. I presume you're here for the Outstare the Cyclops game?
Yes, I'd love to do it.
Very good. He says, it can be a terrifying thing when a Cyclops fixes its gaze on you, so what will you do? You stare right back, of course, yes?
Yes.
The first one to blink loses. Are we ready?
Yes, sir.
Roll a Constitution check.
6.
He rolled a 17. You stare into this almost uncomfortable bright blue eye of a Cyclops. It is piercing. Let me quickly get... there actually is a picture for this.
Oh no.
Just zoomed in.
We'll put this on screen, and I will give all of this to Stack when we get there.
Can Ferrari try?
Yeah, you can. Let me just quickly get this image for you all.
Oh, I just looked over at the board from us chat and I saw the little
You're staring at this right now.
smash.
Oh.
And Cassandra, immediately you blink just to get out of this very manicured Cyclops. His eyelashes are beautiful and maintained. His one very nice eyebrow is looked after. You blink just to get away, and Verora, you step up. Roll me a Constitution check.
Absolutely.
My D20 ran away!
I've got another one, it's fine.
Smile. Yo, I rolled a 21.
I regret to inform you, Verori.
Oh no.
I've rolled a 22. You're staring for what feels like hours. So the rest of you, it's a few minutes. It's like a minute, maybe at best. At Verori, you're staring into the Cyclops' eyes. Not eyes. He has one. He leans a little closer. And... how do I describe this? It's the fear of being touched by an eyeball that makes you blink just to get out of his face. As he leans back with a hearty chuckle. He says, will none of you beat me in a simple staring contest?
To be fair, I don't want to poke your eyeball.
That is very thoughtful of you. But thank you. Anyone else want to step up to the plate?
Well, now, since he's being a little brat, I can't remember.
Okay, roll me. Go on.
I yell from the stands, I like your eyelashes, though.
Slay, he responds. Roll me a Constitution check.
I'm going to fail so hard, but hey, we ball.
If you fail against this check I just made, I would be astounded.
20.
I rolled a 7. You stand up, and out of just pure defiance to this bratty Cyclops, you lean in and squint. You know the techniques of staring contests. You had many with your little brother growing up. You lean in, you stare him down, and eventually goes, oh, fine. And he does a very jested blink. And the handler walks over, claps very quickly, and clicks a finger, dispelling the Cyclops, who was just a simple illusion. And steps forward. A prize for you, dear. And they reach beneath the desk they're stood behind. And roll me d8, please.
Let's see here. 3.
They reach in. and pull out a little wizard hand puppet. As an action, you can move the puppet's arm to cast minor illusion cantrip. After 3 uses, the puppet turns into a puff of smoke and disappears.
I'm putting him in my bag and not using it ever.
And you all step out of the little outstair the Cyclops tent. Are there any other games you'd like to interact with before heading to the mystery mine?
Ferrari's feathers are still a bit ruffled from watching Jackson wrestle.
As you're walking by, I'll describe a few more games that you see. You see a gnome poetry contest. Catch the dragon by the tail. Guess the feathers on the cockatrice. Test your might.
What, is it Mortal Kombat?
Cups and balls.
Balls!
Balls!
The rope ladder.
Rope
and
ladder.
walk the plank.
Rope, you say? Ah.
Anything you guys
Answer
would
your
like?
question. No.
Okay.
None of those are interesting to me, at least.
No,
If the others are...
Let's just go to the mines.
That was a dragon thing. That seemed kind of fun.
Ferrari
If
doesn't
you're-
want to catch a dragon by the tail because Sparky can see from the pendant.
If there's if there's anything you guys want to participate in, go ahead.
Would Sparky be okay with me going to that dragon game?
It's just a simple game. I don't even think he grasped the concept of most of this, to be honest.
Well, then it will seem even more weird to him
Jack,
when I get to
Stay
grab
still
it.
for a second.
If I grab it.
Ferrari's gonna approach Jackson. She's gonna grab his pendant, hold it up to her face, wave at it, and say, "Sparky, you're a good boy," in Draconic.
There definitely not be. You cannot hear or anything from the amulet. The amulet is quite like you can see a few more like when you hold it up, the amulet already kind of sparks with electricity, and there's a little bit more energy put into some of the lightning after you say it, but nothing else to.
She's gonna kiss the amulet like she's kissing Sparky on the head. Anyways, thank you.
Yeah, Jack's definitely standing there, just kind of like, okay.
I'm going to that game.
Okay, you step forward to catch a dragon by the tail. Inside this little enclosed space, it's almost like a cage with like glass windows inside. As you step inside, and you see a small dwarven man with a very short beard for a dwarf. And he sees you step inside, and he jumps up in his very bright outfit immediately. He goes, "Are you here to partake?"
Yes.
Very good. Step inside the little glass dome there, and we'll get right on with the show.
Okay. I step in.
As you step in, he hands you a blindfold. You must be blindfolded for this.
Oh, I see.
No, you won't.
Silence.
As you step inside and blindfold yourself, those that are looking at Velvet inside this little glass sphere, you see a handful of fairy dragons begin to enter the glass sphere with her and begin flying around, almost giggling and like excitedly moving around. You need to catch one of these dragons, Velvet. I need you to roll me a perception check.
Boy. 15.
Okay, you fail on the first one. He goes, "Oh, 2 more tries." There you go again.
10.
And you miss one again. He goes, "Oh, so close. 1 more try." You just deep breath.
Okay. Come on. Big money. Come on. 12. Fuck.
And it slips just from your grasp. And he unblindfolds you. He goes, "Oh, so close, dear. Thank you for partaking. Did you have fun?"
I want one as a
Yes. What a sounds.
And you step out of the little show here. And are you all heading to the mystery mine?
pet. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Let me
It
get
is mine
you
time.
a little picture of a fairy dragon.
Fairy dragons,
Yeah.
very cute creatures.
Very adorable. I
And this
want
this
one.
one's good for a size scale to see what she was trying to catch.
Drum gone.
I want one.
Random.
But you want one of everything in here.
Yes, because they're all adorable.
Yes.
And with that, you reach the mystery mine, and that's where we're going to take our first break.
I want a displacer base. I want the fairy dragon. I want the little rabbit thing. I want all of the babies.
See you after the break, everyone!
See ya.
Hi there, folks. We do hope you're enjoying the episode thus far, and if you are, please consider hitting the like and subscribe button. It helps much more than you know. Thank you. Hello, everyone. Back from the
Hi.
break. Let's get back into the nonsense. You guys have found yourself, after partaking in a handful of games, that you're heading over to the Mystery Mine. What will be in the Mystery Mine, we don't know, but as you approach, I will read this little excerpt. Propelled by magic, mine carts laden with fairgrows trundle into an opening carved like a dragon's mouth. The carts reappear moments later on the far side of the attraction, with the passengers' expressions being a mixture between bewilderment, fear, and excitement. Near the entrance, a male dwarf, dressed like a wizard, shouts, "Unlock the mysteries of your mind, the Mystery Mine!" He has bushy eyebrows, wears a pointy hat, and has a large clockwork contraption shaped like a giant eye.
Interesting.
Theodore's long-lost brother.
I guess we shall approach.
Welcome, fairgoers! Unlock the mysteries of your mind with the Mystery Mine. My name is... Oh no, that's a strange word. My name is... Zephix? Zephix60. Help somebody,
Are you
please.
confused about your own name, sir?
No. Born from us is a name. I can't say that. I don't know how to say that.
Subvixix.
Zafixo.
I said
Zedits.
so, yeah.
Zephix60! The Grand Wizard! Welcome.
Happy to be here.
Right, do you wish to partake in the Mystery Mine? We can unlock the secrets of your mind. Or the mysteries? I can't remember what I said. Mysteries of your mind.
I'm down.
Yes, I think so. I
Come
think so.
look into the all-seeing eye. He holds up his little clockwork contraption that's shaped like an eye.
Rory's gonna lean in.
Right, lean closer, dear, closer.
She'll lean closer.
It stares you down, almost as if it's reading your innermost thoughts. It looks like a carnival trick, basically. Well done, dear. And your name?
Ferrari.
Ferrari. Very good. And he almost like pushes you to the side and brings forward Velvet by the collar. Come here, look into the all-seeing eye.
Okay.
And your name, dear?
Oh, shit. Velvet.
Hold Chef Velvet. Very good. And he pushes you to the side. He grabs Jackson by his blue collar. Come here. What is your name?
Jackson.
Look into the eye. Look deep within yourself.
He just looks into the
He
eye.
shoves you aside, and you're the same height as me. Hi, welcome, come forward.
Hi.
He's looking into the all-seeing eye, grabs you by the collar. Right, now all of you, I need you to send me a DM.
Yeah.
I need a collection. Actually, no, I don't. I don't need
He
anything.
doesn't know my name.
Name, come back! Grabs you by the collar. What is your name?
Mr. Good, and then you see a finger go to my lips.
Mr. Goodlips. That's a strange name.
They just-
Do you have a first name, Mr.
Cassandra Good, and I do the gesture again.
Mr. Cassidy Goodlips? Very good. He almost like huddles you together and pushes you into this like mine cart. Right, friends, adventurers, and all the same. Are you prepared to enter the mystery mine? We could look at the mysteries of your mind.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very good. And the ride begins.
Oh boy.
I'm gonna tap Jackson on the shoulder.
You'll kind of look over.
I always wanted to see what was in Velvet's mind.
Guess we'll find out.
Oh no. Wait,
Art
is it gonna be
begins
good?
moving along
Wait.
the track. It's very slow at first, just chuck, 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 chuck down the track, and you head towards this stone carved to look like a dragon's mouth. And it pauses at the very top. Silence is deafening right now. You barely hear anybody around you as you're high up on the mystery mine, before plunging down what feels like the abyss. You are hurtled into pure darkness, and you begin to see the very bottom begins to shape into different places. Very giant hills with corkscrewing trees and almost like prismatic coloured skies as you reach the bottom, and again into pure darkness. And the first of you to open your eyes is Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Jackson,
Yes.
I need you to describe to me Jackson's deepest fear.
His deepest fear.
Nothing vague like loss of my friends or disappointing someone. His truest, most real fear.
I think his fear of. I think he is most afraid of hook horrors and
Hook
things
horrors.
of that nature in the Underdark. Is his one true fear.
As you're there, you all see Jackson, his eyes open wide, staring into this empty room. Nothing is here. It is just, it looks like cheap carnival scares, like wooden cutouts of ghosts and ghouls and the very stereotypical electronic ghost sound is what you're hearing. But to Jackson, this is very real. You are in the Underdark. You hear the dripping of water from stone, the crumbling of rock and the shifting of the earth above you. You hear creatures crawling through the dark and people screaming in terror as they are devoured by the creatures of the Underdark. You see men made of mushrooms staring down at you as you're passing through what seems to be like a ravine within the Underdark. I need you to roll me a wisdom saving throw.
A wisdom saving throw. Okay.
This is at disadvantage.
At disadvantage. Okay. Not looking good for little old me. Definitely not looking good. That's a 7.
This creature leans out from the Underdark, and you've seen this once before on your most recent trip to the Underdark. It was many years ago, but it lives fresh in your mind as this creature of almost pure resentment for anything that isn't from the Underdark. It's wrapped in sharp stones and jagged rock. Its eyes made of what seems to be gemstones, but the stature of this creature is almost like a dragon, as if it was building itself a new form within the Underdark, lashes out almost inches from biting your face, and it terrifies you to the core. And you fall back into the cart in between all of your friends who are clearly laughing at you as you just fell over from what seemed to be a ghost on a string. But to you, this was very real, and you are compelled to scream.
Okay.
You now have disadvantage on all charisma-based ability checks for the next hour.
Oh, okay.
And the cart moves along as you all see the happy smile that is normally on Jackson's face is in a state of pure fear, the colour washed from his skin, and his same gusto retreating away from him as he crawls into the seat away from this ghost on a string. And you pass into the next chamber. Virari,
Oh boy.
describe to me Virari's deepest fear.
Ferrari's deepest fear is not something that others around her can really see or guess, but is something manifest to her. It is knowledge that deep within her core is a bloodlust that she ignores and harbors a desire to rip and hunt.
You enter
So-
this chamber. Again, to the rest of you, and now you, Jackson, you just see this happy-go-lucky, boo, got you. But to Rory, you find yourself back in the chamber with the cult. You find yourself looking at what to the other group is small little running of water to within here to keep this place cool and damp. To you are rivers of blood. You see mounds of bodies and skeletons, as if things have taken chunks out of the flesh of those that are on this pile. And you see yourself sat there atop this pile of corpses, pecking and ripping away at flesh and tissue on a femur as you look down at yourself. Roll me a wisdom saving throw. Not wisdom saving throw. Wisdom saving throw.
Mm-hmm. Boy, dice, don't fail me now.
At disadvantage, by the way.
Oh. I rolled a 7.
Your figure steps down this almost staircase of bodies next to the cart and sits in the cart with you. To the rest, it just seems to be, again, just a little carnival trick. But it is you staring at yourself with a jagged knife that has been damaged and not taken care of over time, and in your other hand, a severed head of some beast or somebody that you've slain. And all you hear yourself say to yourself is, I know what you are. And you collapse and you are compelled to scream. And just like Jackson, you have now disadvantage on all charisma-based ability checks for the next hour.
Mm.
Now, to the next chamber. And we will go to Velvet. Velvet,
Mm-hmm.
describe to me Velvet's most deepest fear.
You know what her deepest fear is.
Oh, I do. I do know her deepest fear, because I asked for this at the beginning of the campaign many months ago. And we enter the next chamber. And it goes through like a little comical like wooden door that bats open, because it's still like an old-timey wooden western saloon door. But it's a big door that kind of swings open as you bump through, and you're plunged deeper into the earth. And to Velvet, you are plunged underwater into the blanket of the ocean and the darkness. But the rest of you are splashed with water, and you're like, ah! And you enter this chamber. And Velvet, you're holding your breath the whole time. You're looking around. You see coral. You see sand. And you hear it. That groaning call that you once heard when you were a young kitten? Is it the correct word? Well, kitten. With your brother when he was taken from you on that fateful day. And it looms out of the darkness with its all-piercing eyes staring at you. Roll me a wisdom saving throw.
9.
You fail. And it looms forward out of the darkness, its claws resting on the edge, almost touching Goodberry, who is pointing and laughing at this creature. But to Mr. Goodberry, this is like a blown-up lobster dressed up to be like a scary sea monster that you've been splashed with in this like ocean-themed room. But to Velvet, it's almost grabbing Mr. Goodberry, tearing him out of the cart, and you reach out to take away the lobster, and you're compelled to scream. And like the rest, you are given a disadvantage on all charisma-based ability checks for the next hour. and the curtain whizzes off, propelled by magic, into the final chamber as you're taking out of this room, and you finally take a deep breath. And all of you, you just saw Velvet hold her breath for like 4 minutes
Yeah.
as you're out of this room. And finally, Mr. Goodberry, what is Mr. Goodberry's deepest fear?
I think at this point, it's not finding the missing kids.
Uh-oh. Time to describe something horrific. We finally go into the last chamber. To the rest of you, it looks like an old, like, done-up fantasy dungeon, like prisoners in cages and monsters that have them prisoner. It's a very little, almost like comical play. But to Mr. Goodberry, you see yourself dressed as a member of the cult, and all the people that you've been trying to help thus far on your journey. The little girl, Willie, Durr, the Adventuring Society, the Mage's Ward members, the Artisan Standard, all in cages, bound and asking for help, and you don't know a way to help them. There's no way to help them, as the cages begin to ignite into flame and fire, as if they're being burnt alive inside these cages, and all you can do is watch. Please roll me a wisdom saving throw.
13.
You stare at this and watch them burn. You shake your head and you're determined to not let this frighten you, and it begins, the illusion begins to break for you. You start to see the comical room of like the fake fantasy prison and monsters and the stereotypical princess, and you push through it and you begin to laugh hysterically. It's funny to you that they would attempt to like try to scare you in such a way, and you do not have any disadvantages, but you see your friends taken aback at your determination at this scary room, and eventually you're taken out of the mine. After a deep sigh of relief of all of you leave, your 3 friends being scared to their very core, and you laughing and smiling as you're not insulted but very taken aback that they would try to scare you with fake cages and fake monsters.
Who looks the most, like, upset about this?
They all rolled really low. They're all
We are all
terrified.
terrified. Yeah, genuinely, I think we're all about the same.
I'm assuming you guys saw something very horrific as well. We're all better than this. We're all going to get through whatever is in our way. We all have each other, okay?
To all of you that are scared, could you roll me a wisdom saving throw one more time?
One more time.
Actually, no, throw me a D8, all of you, please. Sorry, I read that wrong.
Oh.
3.
That is a 1.
2 3s and a 1.
Okay, so the 2 of you got a 3. You will be affected by haunting nightmares for 3 days, and Jackson only 1.
Oh!
Go!
And you step out back into the wonderful, bright, happy carnival, everyone laughing and cheering. The wizard turns around and goes, "Ah! The adventurers, how was your trip in the mystery mine? We unlock the mysteries of your mind."
Ferrari just remains silent.
Yeah, same. I'm just staring down.
Jackson, like, seeing that neither of them were speaking, just, yeah, it sure was a trip.
Oh, the mysteries of your mind, or the machinations of a guy I once knew one time. Welcome to... Turns. And you're led out by other Witchlight hands, who hand all of you that look very scared a nice warm beverage. And after drinking this warm beverage, you feel a little bit soothed, as it's giving you the kind emotions.
What kind of beverage?
It is a warm, homemade, hot chocolate with
let's
sprinkles,
go.
whipped cream, and a little dashing of cinnamon.
Ooh.
It's basically the calm emotion spell. You feel you're not angry, you're not upset, you're calm, and you're back to the way you were.
Ooh.
Now,
Never doing that again.
I agree.
and before you all run off, the wizard runs over, like almost tripping over his long cloak that they've put him in. Wait! I forgot! I need to punch your ticket!
Here you go.
Uh-huh.
He punches you
go.
all one time and your ticket. And he runs back off. Unlock the mysteries of your mind with the mystery mine.
Because Sandy's going to look at the rest of the group just like, Okay. Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
let's go somewhere else.
Oh,
Yeah.
please.
Far away from that.
You have the Bubble Pop Teapot, the Pixie Kingdom, snail racing in your nearest vicinity.
I think those are the only
Snail
things we
racing.
haven't done. So well, I'm up to just follow you guys wherever you guys want to go.
As you guys are heading in a different direction, you hear the change of music within the carnival.
Big
Ooh.
top time.
The
Big top time.
editor's going to see me drawing this, but it'll be fine. And you begin to hear cheering and chanting of the big top, and you see fireworks begin to explode over the big top, almost skywriting with fireworks itself, just saying extravaganza. And it is time for the big top extravaganza.
You know
Let
what
us
that
go
means?
to Big Top then. Time
Let's
to
go
go.
top some bigs.
Yes,
Oh, you know what that means.
fish. Right, let me get to the big top extravaganza.
Did we go down a mood?
Yes, because Ferrari got upset at the ring toss.
Gotcha. I didn't notice till now. Like
Please move your token over to the big top.
Already
already
done.
ahead of you,
I
Chief.
love it. Right, you enter the big top, accompanied with dozens and dozens of other people. This tent seems bigger on the inside than it looks on the outside, and there are hundreds of people in here already, ready to go. The lights dim as you all find your seats. You guys get lucky and manage to snag some front row seats at the very
Let's
edge
go.
of the big top. You see people here recognize you as you enter, like, that's they ate all the custard. And the all mirage, and they saved the man on the dragonfly. And you hear, oh, that's the one that Derla mentioned and Diana mentioned, and you all get welcome to your front row seats. The lights dim, and a hush falls over the crowd. A second later, a spotlight illuminates a lithe elven figure sitting in a silver hoop suspended over the center ring by silver ropes. The elf wears a dazzling suit of diamond-paned mirrors, the arms and silver white top hat dripping with a sequined fringe. A pair of oversized butterfly wings sprout from his back, shining like mithril. The top wing lined with fluffy white feathers, the bottom wings extend all the way down to the ground, separating into white and silver silk ribbons that brush the floor. In his hand he holds a gilded scepter topped with a ruby red butterfly-shaped vein, which spins, whirls, and spins happily and winks in the light. For a moment he slowly spins like a disco ball and looks out at the audience, his face filled with joy at the sight of a very happy crowd. Welcome, one and all, to this evening's extravaganza. I am Mr. Light. Prepare to be delighted. His hands open and throws a wave of sparkling confetti in the air. Suddenly, 8 fairy dragons, all of all colours, like a rainbow, fly through the air from every corner of the tent, soaring over your heads and diving to pick up one of the hanging ribbons from Mr. Light's butterfly wings. The dragons begin to pull the ribbons, ducking and weaving around each other as Mr. Light hoop spins faster and faster. As the hoop spins, the wings at Mr. Light's back flutter, and he floats away from the hoop and gently descends to the ground. As his feet touch the ground, the ribbons suddenly change colour to match the dragons holding them. Red, pink, yellow, orange, green, blue, indigo, and violet, and detach from the wings. The the fairy dragons begin performing a synchronized routine, flittering and flying around the audience, the ribbons twirling in the air in their wake. You see that these dragons too have painted their wings to resemble those of a butterfly. As the dragons finish their final pose, they weave the ribbons together to form a floating butterfly. Mr. Light stands at the center of the ring and gestures towards the dragons overhead. Ladies and gentlemen, the Fae Flyers. The dragons bow in unison as applause washes over them. Mr. Light introduces each new act that takes the stage. You see a fire-braving tiefling that blows a stream of fire from the tip of the torch. Imp-like beings and flame and smoke emerges from the billowing mass to flit mischievously through the crowd before disappearing with a puff. A troupe of acrobats spin, twist, and balance on a manner of mediums, from hoops to silks to small raised platforms, ending in a climactic balancing act on a tightrope. Our falconer sends a bird of prey swooping through the audience. Clowns potter to help clean up and set up the next act, their playful antics keeping the crowd entertained. And now I present to you, Burley, the Iron Bugbear, and his sensational feats of strength. Now, all of you are sat watching this display of the Big Top Extravaganza. Before the next act begins, is there anything you would like to say or do?
I don't think so.
Then I will continue this long monologue. As Burley, the Iron Bugbear, takes the stage, you see, from the wings, you see a tall bugbear approach the ring, wearing dungarees and a helmet made from a jack-o'-lantern. He's covered in a sandy blonde fur and packed with muscle. As he turns, you see a pair of teeny tiny bumblebee wings affixed to his back as he gives the crowd a shy wave. Burley hefts a heavy chain of iron up from the ground and lifts it overhead. He turns before wrapping the chain around his chest with the chain secured. He takes a deep breath before flexing his arms and expanding his ribcage until the chain breaks around his chest. He takes on one of the broken links and begins twisting it and bending the metal until it is wound around himself several times. Burley goes on to catch a cannonball after it's fired from a rainbow-coloured cannon, barely moving from the impact. He deadlifts a barrel of wine, a horse, and a ship anchor. As his act begins to come to a close, he crosses his arms and addresses the audience. And now for my final performance, he booms. I require some volunteers.
Ferrari's gonna raise her hand.
Oh, definitely.
Hands begin to shoot out from the crowd. And Burley looks over and gestures towards, who is raising their hand?
Ferrari.
Ferrari?
And I am as well.
All of us, I think.
Oh, so all of you dart your hands into the air, and Burley looks over to you and gestures, and clowns make their way through the crowd to escort you to the stage. A wooden platform is being set, and you're all directed to stand on the platform and to be very still. Eventually, all told, 20 guests, including yourself, are atop the platform. Burley spits onto both hands, rubs them together, and then situates himself underneath the platform. Crouching, he places his hands over his head, and in a deep inhale as he exhales, he lifts the platform above his head, keeping it perfectly balanced, even though all of you are swaying on your feet. He holds the pose for a moment before setting the platform gently back down. The crowd erupts into a cheer, and he gives a quick flex before waving to the crowd and wandering off stage. You see Mr. Light claps along with the crowd before addressing them. What an impressive display of physical prowess. It surely gives all a new meaning to the phrase, bear hug. Without further ado, our final act of the evening, the lovely Plasher. And you all get guided back to your seats.
Let's go.
You all take seats where you were, and a giant clamshell is wheeled out onto the stage, along with ceramic vases shaped like an open-mouthed fish. You see a monochromatic man among the staff helping, setting down a vase quite near the front of the stage to complete a circle around the clamshell. A string quartet with turquoise lunar moth's wings set up nearby as the lights dim one more time. And you see all of the wings begin to glow faintly. The violin begins. The rest of the quartet follows as the notes echo throughout the tent. The clamshell slowly opens and begins to rise, revealing a beautiful mermaid sat upon a central pearl pedestal within. The mermaid's skin is tinted an aquamarine blue, her torso adorned with golden and pearl necklaces. Her bracelets and chains, instead of hair, her crown is adorned with a long lavender fins that undulate softly. Similar fins dot along her long blue tail, which wraps around the pedestal. The light catches her shimmering scales as the crowd looks out upon this beautiful sight. And then she begins to sing. It's as if the rest of the performance, the quartet, the stage, the crowd melt away. You're captivated by her sound of her voice, the most beautiful song you've ever heard. Glorious and haunting, she sings in a language you do not understand, her voice ebbing and flowing like the waves. As she sings, water begins to gently rise out of the vases, performing pillars that rise and fall along with her melody. Throughout the performance, the water forms different shapes, living sculptures that bend and move with the spiral of the music. Just off stage, you spot the monochromatic man watching quietly, a sad smile on his lips as the song continues. You see a blush of pink spread upon the black and white cheeks, and soon his whole body, his flush of colour, is returned. As the song reaches its crescendo, the streams of water begin curving to form arches connecting each vase. Suddenly, rainbow-coloured fish appear in the stream, swimming through the archways like bridges, their multicoloured scales catching the light and sparkling. Plasha triumphantly holds a high note that rings as clear as a bell, her face serene. The crowd erupts into an enormous applause, and Plasha bows regally. Mr. Light takes the stage once more as the clamshell and vases are carted away, and he speaks. Thank you, one and all, for joining us on this marvellous evening. I hope very much that you have enjoyed the performance, but before we leave, perhaps there are others in the crowd who have a hidden talent that they wish to be shared. Do any volunteers? Are there any volunteers for a guest performance?
Hmm.
Do I have any talents? I don't remember.
My only talent is violence, and I don't think that would be appropriate here.
I can shoot firebolts.
Actually, I used to be quite the singer, but we don't do that anymore. You know?
I don't know. Do you want to give it a shot? I mean,
No, because they'll make fun of me because we just had a fucking siren on the stage, Jackson.
he just shrugs.
Now, as a DM, you guys can do absolutely anything. You just have to describe it to me and then make a performance check. You guys can make up a talent right now. As long as you can describe it to me and what your act is, you can make the check.
How long has it been since we went right? Yeah, we still have disadvantage on this, don't we? All the people who got frightened.
Oh no, I would say by the end of the performance, you've been here for like almost 2 hours. This is a long.
Oh, okay.
This is a long,
Ferrari
extensive. Because
do trick shots with her crossbow.
you have to step up, and it's not as a DM. You can describe to me. It can be set up, but it's all within the means of Mr. Witch and Mr. Light. As you just have to ask. I will say you've been here for about 2.5 hours.
Okay.
No, I'd say about an hour and a half, sorry, because they was set up between the different acts, and I describe it rather quickly, but there is a lot of setting up and everyone getting ready between those acts.
Ferrari is going to step up and offer to do a bunch of different trick shots, ranging from in flight to on the ground.
Okay, you stand up and Mr. Light immediately spots you and points his scepter. We have a volunteer. Andia, what is your talent?
Shooting. I'm quite a good shot.
Very good. And he claps his hands, and Witchlight hands begin to move to you, and they guide you backstage to prepare for your act. Are there any others that wish to showcase their talent for this beautiful evening?
Jackson will also stand up, I think. I have something in mind he can do.
And you, sir, what is your talent?
At this point, I'll summon out Sparky. Just my draconic friend here knows quite a few tricks that I think I could perform out here.
Very good. And he leads you to the Witchlight hands, who take you backstage. Now, for those who want to know what Mr. Light looks like, I'll post it in Born From Us.
I already know what it
Smash.
looks like. Of
I do-
course.
Is anyone else standing?
Looks like Hisako.
Never
Anyone
mind.
else?
Undo the smash.
No? Okay. Well, as your friends are guided backstage and the prep begins to take place on the stage has been wiped down and cleaned, and there is still acts on the stage. The clowns doing various juggling acts, and music is being played, and you see Mr. Light takes a seat in the crowd, but in a raised stand, sat next to another person that looks a little like him, but a little more heavier set. And I'll put a picture in Born From Us as he sits next to this individual, who is quite constantly checking his watch.
Mr. Witch.
Now, to those going backstage, we got a little something to go over,
Oh boy.
because you guys have got costumes to wear. You can't go up dressed like this. It's the Witchlight. You can't dress up like an adventurer. This won't do. This will not do.
Oh boy.
Now, let me gather.
What are we gonna dress the owl in?
I hope they try to dress the Sparky. I think that'd be cute.
I need you both to roll me d8, please.
As long as they don't try to cover my wings. I rolled a 1.
I rolled a 2.
Okay. Okay.
It'd be really cool if they put us on together, because Sparky could light up my arrows.
Well, he could. Very well put.
Jackson,
Uh-huh.
you are sat down, and immediately makeup is being applied to your face and to Sparky.
Oh,
They immediately begin dressing your face as quickly as possible and fitting you with clothes as quickly as they're taken off. You are dressed in a clown costume with fake butterfly wings.
let's go.
You
Let's
see,
go.
they couldn't really give him a costume, Sparky, but they have painted him in a clown fashion and painted his already small wings to look like butterfly wings.
Let's go.
Jackson and Vera, you rolled a 1, right?
Yeah.
Oh
They
no.
did to me.
They sit you down. They begin preening your feathers, brushing you, almost caring for you very quickly. They are, again, your clothes are taken off and reapplied as quickly as possible, and you find yourself in a pair of stilts with a bright, long purple trousers. And in front of you is a small human man who has his arms crossed. Right, and which one of you's going up first?
Don't matter to me. Do you want to go first, Ferrari? And he's like looking up at her, I guess, because she's in stilts.
I don't know how I'm going to fly in stilts.
I'm sure you figured out you are the determined type. Now, you're not going to be only acts on the stage, right? You're going to be intermingled with our acts, so so in case that you bomb, we can recover. You see what I'm saying?
Understandable. Yes.
Now roll me a d8, both of you.
A D8. Oh boy.
I rolled an 8.
I rolled a 4.
Right, you. What's your name, sir?
Jackson.
Jackson. You're going to be along the acts. We have some pixies that are going to be in chariots that are being pulled by weasels, alright? Don't hit them or hurt them, but they're going to be riding around the arena with music playing, and just do what you need to do on stage, alright?
Sounds good.
He taps you on the back and you're sent out onto stage. Now for you, madam, you are going to be alongside a satyr. He's going to be playing some music that's going to make the plants around you move and dance and move along with your act. Are you okay with that?
Absolutely.
Right, very good. As soon as his act's finished, you're on, okay? You can get used to your stilt situation.
All right, thank you. And she's gonna start hobbling around on the still.
To the rest of you, you see the stage is being prepared, and you hear the rumbling of drums as the lights dim and spotlights begin to take the stage. You see chariots manned by pixies that are being pulled by weasels race around the arena, off the stage, onto the stage, almost like a Roman era chariot match of them crashing into each other, trying to topple the one out of the chariot. They're fighting with swords made of what seems to be like candy canes as they're battling as they get close to one another. And Jackson, you're out on stage and you see your friend step out dressed as a clown with wings. Jackson, please describe your act to us, and please roll me a performance check, please.
Performance check. Essentially, what Jackson is doing is like, you know, there's shows where it's like the tigers jump through like hoops and stuff, and like genuine, like that's what he's doing with Sparky. But also, Sparky being Sparky is trying to show off and throw like lightning into it, so like electrifies the hoop at one point and stuff like that. He's trying to show off.
Now, as you're holding these hoops up, the weasels are also trying to jump their chariots through them as he's also going through this. This is a glorious display of weasel and dragon activity. Can I get a performance check, please?
Yes, you may. Oh, that is a 19.
Okay. You begin this act. The weasel's very much helping you to like rile the crowd up as they're racing through the crowd. Everyone's laughing, and you begin to display various different hoops of different shapes as Mr. Light, who is clapping along ecstatically as you're performing this, but Mr. Witch kind of looking up, sighing, looking back down at his watch, looking at the time, looking back up, but Mr. Light is jumping around, clapping, ecstatic of what's taking place. You begin to toss these hoops up into the air, which kind of suspend themselves in the air. You're being assisted by the Witchlight carnival. They're trying to add on to your performance to make sure it doesn't go down in flames. The weasels bound through the hoops that are being electrified by Sparky, who then joins in along the display. You even at one point jump through yourself to go along with the show. And at the final end of this beautiful display, Mr. Witch is stood up clapping, and everybody else stands up in the arena, and they begin clapping and smiling. And we're going to raise the mood by one as your beautiful display of Dragon Mastery, as it's being called by the announcers.
I was so scared because I have a +0 to that roll, so that was just a straight roll right there.
A Dragon Mastery is taking place, and it comes to an end. All of the weasels line up with their chariots. The pixies bow, and Sparky bows, and finally, you bow with one final eruption from the crowd. You're led off stage. The guy backstage, that was bloody good. You did good, kid. You could consider your time in the Witchlight. Patch on the back as you're removed of your clown costume and makeup. And much to your surprise, Sparky fighting the urge to get removed of his beautiful paint job, as it's the... He looks quite pretty. Go on.
Don't worry, Sparky. We'll do it again sometime. Don't worry.
Yeah.
She's like trying to coax him into getting it off.
You see Ferrari hobbling around in the back, and she's kind of getting used to her stilts. Ferrari, can you roll me a... Can you roll me a dexterity check, please?
Oh boy.
A what?
A 7.
She hasn't quite got it yet. She's still hobbling around, trying to keep her balance, her talons making it difficult to grip onto it. But the individual goes, right, you're on, Ferrari.
Alright, Godspeed.
And
as Jackson goes by, he'll also just kind of like give her a thumbs up, be like, you got this.
You see the satyr steps out next to you, and he looks up with his fiddle, and he's like, are you ready, Miss Ferrari?
As ready as one can be.
Right, let's put the show on the road. And to the rest of you that were outside, you saw them preparing the stage. Various plants have been brought out in pots and vases around the arena to almost look like a nature scene, and targets have been propped up around the room. There are a few suspended from the ceiling on ropes, and one that seems to be magically enchanted that is swirling around the room. And the satyr steps out with a fiddle and takes his position on the stage and begins playing a very soft melody as Ferrari steps out on stilts, bright purple trousers with a crossbow. Uh, and Rory, can you roll me a performance check while describing your act to the group?
Ferrari, being the performative hoe that she is,
That's the
is
title
going
of the
to-
session, Performative Hoe.
is going to be doing trick shots. Starting off slow, she's going to be going with the music. Very performative, very gentle. She's going to go around the targets. She doesn't know if she's supposed to abandon the stilts. So she'll see if she can fly with them.
They are light enough for you to fly with
Oh,
the
absolutely.
stilts. But now
Absolutely.
your little wooden legs are wildly whipping around the arena. The satyr having to dodge every other second with the fiddle. As
Oh
you
no, she gets high enough that she doesn't risk hitting him in the head.
roll with the performance check, let's see what happens.
Nat 20!
Let's go.
Beautiful. With a natural 20, she nails the trick shots, putting on a beautiful display in symphony with the fiddle's song. The plants begin to rise out of their pots, blooming as beautiful as they would on a summer's day, swaying with the song, moving along with Aurora. At one point, Aurora, you nail one of the floating targets to a shock and awe to the crowd, and you abandon your stilts, which are catched by various plants and let down to the ground, and roots from these and the vines from these plants on the ground form a staircase as you delicately walk down, one-handing shooting your crossbow at another target, nailing it, crashing it down. Mr. Light again stood up, clapping, applauding, and we're going to raise the mood by one more,
Let's go!
as you've now
Fucking
reached
dope.
maximum mood. The crowd ecstatic with this display of a beautiful talent. Mr. Light clapping along, even Mr. Witch at one point standing up and clapping along with the crowd as you both, hand in hand with the satyr, take a bow, along with the plants who are also bowing with the music, and you're rushed off stage as the final acts are being brought on. And again, the individual, that's bloody good, miss, you considered some time at the Witchlight Carnival.
I'm usually not a performer.
Not usually, that was a bloody good display. As you're taken out of your costume and replaced and cleaned up and sent back outside to your friends who are watching one final act, which I will roll the d8 for, which is a troop of 8 clowns launching themselves out of magical cannons,
Clown.
accompanied with a juggling gobbler who catches and juggles tiny objects tossed in by the crowd. 8 objects at a time. And you all sit down watching the final act, and you see Mr. Light and Mr. Witch looking down at you, whispering amongst themselves and pointing. Mr. Light waving with his fingers with a smile as he's not acknowledging you looking at them. And they disappear out of the big top. And the act that was on the table, on the stage with you at one point, Burley, steps forward and goes, Mr. Witch and Mr. Light wish to see you.
Oh, okay.
Well, better not keep them waiting.
Yes, best not.
Everybody's
I'll-
okay.
I will get you a picture of Burley, because
Time to
his
play Smash
name...
or Pass.
His name is
Burley.
very much appropriate for this man's stature.
That is
Oh.
Burley.
My PC is being very slow right now. I don't know what the fuck's going
He's
on.
so baby. Oh,
I cannot-
Look at him.
Cannot do anything. Right now. PC will not react.
He's so baby. Give him here. I want to give him a big kiss on the head.
You guys head through the big top, out back into the staff area. We'll even move the token that way.
Oh yeah, that guy. Smash.
A tangled wall of thorns surround a cluster of wagons lit by lanterns. The caravan is barely visible through the thicket as it surrounds the staff area. And Burley is stood there, waiting for the go-ahead. And he looks to you both. That was a good show you put on.
I have to admit, I never tried anything like that before, but I'm glad it worked out.
Well, You put on a good enough show that both the Mr. Witch and Mr. Light wish to speak with you. You've built quite the reputation. The guard here that I'm in charge of told me that you helped a man at the dragonfly rides. You beat the feasting orchard fairy cake custard contest, whatever it is these days. And I regret to inform you, but Featherine's quite the chatterbox, and she told us quite a bit about you.
Okay. Jackson's kind of standing there. He's just like, to be honest, that sort of kind of happens with me a lot, even outside of Witchlight. So, not
popular
surprised.
man.
Not to my, well, not that I'm trying to be. It's just sort of actions speak louder than words type of thing.
Gotcha. Well, just wait here by the that wagon there. That's Mr. Witch and Mr. Lights. I've got some people to speak to. And he kind of stands off to the side and begins speaking to other, what seems to be like Witchlight hands, but there seems to be a little bit more security. They don't have swords or weapons, but they look very much like they can handle themselves. And as you stand close to the wagon, you overhear some voices inside. Can all of you roll me a perception check if you're trying to catch the conversation?
So we are all here, right?
Yes.
I got a 7.
Okay.
My old ears cannot hear.
I rolled a
I got
15.
an 8.
I got a 17.
And you, Ferrari?
15.
Okay, so Ferrari and Jackson here. There's the other two. You're a little bit distracted by the carnival and the big top extravaganza. You're still chatting to each other about the various acts you saw and how cool Ferrari and Jackson are with their acts. But you hear in a low, gravelly tone of voice, "You need to find a way to calm down." In a much higher, shrill voice, you hear, "I will calm down when that pest is dealt with." And a third voice, which you don't recognize. "Well, she knows nothing. She'll get frustrated soon enough and be on her way." And again, you both in unison, the gravelly voice and the high voice. "Well, I hope you're right." And the door opens, and a short, cloaked figure steps out. And pardon me, as she rushes through the staff here out into the big top, and Mr. Witch and Mr. Light are sat inside. Guests! Come.
Okay, if you say so.
Okay.
And you're all brought inside of their tent.
Ferrari looks around and
their
she's like,
wagon, sorry.
Ferrari looks around. She's like kind of hovering. She's like, where am I? What am I?
Any of the various seats, dear. Speaking by Mr. Witch.
I have a lot of energy at the moment. I always get energized after I am around a lot of people doing things.
See, he sort of squints and looks at the group while the rest of you are sitting, I hope.
Yeah, of course. Jackson will take a seat.
You see, he shuts his pocket watch and slips it into his jacket pocket. "Well, you have more than definitely put on quite the show here at the Witchlight Carnival."
Very nice to hear.
Usually, we don't have an audience with guests, but after your performance here and what you did at the big top, I thought it was appropriate to address you directly. I am Mr. Witch, and this is my brother, Mr. Light, as you saw at the big top. You see, Mr. Light is being rather quiet, but he's still very bubbly, smiley, jumping around. Now, don't listen to my brother. He's quite the stick in the mud, you see, with the Witchlight Carnival, and
Would it be all right if I shook your hand?
Of course.
She reaches out her feathered hand.
He shakes your hand. You see a very flamboyant, very, very flamboyant, elven figure in front of you. Very different to his brother. They are both elven. Their skin is rather grey and dark, from what most elves you've seen. Not like high elves or wood elves that you've been around. These ones seem to be then like the treant said at the Dragonfly ride in the previous episode. They're definitely not from the Fey realm. After he shakes your hand, Mr. Witch steps forward again, and his brother sits back down. Well, it is a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I hope you don't mind, but we have gathered your names from our various staff members, and we thank you again for getting the carousel working. Diana was very worried that she did something wrong, but I assured her it happens. You know, with various Witchlight hands try to help, but you did come in for her, and we thank you. On behalf of the carnival, we extend a free ticket to all of you for your gracious appearance here, and a open invitation to, if we can assist you with anything, we will try.
Well, there is actually something you may be able to assist us with, actually. Unfortunately, we aren't here just to have a good time. We were here on business. We are trying to track down a child that was kidnapped, and we believe they were taken to the Feywild.
At the carnival?
No, but
More through
something
the carnival.
happening here at the carnival may be connected, per se.
Yes, our Derla had reported a child going missing, and we've heard reports of a halfling man or a dwarven man, I'm not quite sure, who went missing in the Hall of Illusions.
Yes.
Yeah.
The individual that took him may have connections to a cult that is responsible, at least partly, in connection to a hag that has stolen another child that seems to be of quite importance to them.
I do wish that this word of a hag wasn't the first I heard during the carnival.
Someone else has mentioned a hag?
We had a collection of people, seemingly non-connected, but I have my suspicions, requesting if we could assist them in reaching the Feywild.
This might be this cult that we were hoping weren't involved, but it seems ever more likely they are.
And we don't want this to have to affect your carnival. You guys do a really good job at this, and it's very annoying that they're probably trying to connect themselves or using you guys.
Well, we usually are on board with assisting individuals, but this carnival has had its fair few problems, you see. I would be obliged to help you, and my brother most definitely would be, if you were able to assist us with a few problems we're having.
Well, we've helped with quite a few already. Might as well keep going.
I'm sure you've heard the disturbances taking place at the Dragonfly rides, and the recent incident at the Hall of Illusions.
Yes.
Yeah.
One of my Witchlight hands have had his voice stolen. And
We've heard of that too.
we're trying to figure out how to return it to him. The contacts we have are unable to do this for him, as whatever has happened is a rather powerful effect, and that is out of my power and my brother's power here too. And he may have information he's not able to say without his voice.
Mr. Goodberry,
Yes.
it is my thinking that there are spells that can perhaps read thoughts or detect thoughts. Would that be a workaround?
I would have to see if I have that available.
Then there's
Well,
the
what I'm
other issue of the person possibly stealing the voice also having thought of that ahead of time.
Perhaps, but any lead we can take right now is a lead we should follow.
Before we go any further, I will say, on behalf of the Witchlight Carnival and myself, forces are at work on the other side that are entirely beyond our control. And you see his brother adds on with, yes, and the wheel of time turns ever on, and what is lost, and what is gone is gone. I hope that's understood.
Okay, well, we'll still try our best.
I would be thankful. My brother here is for the theatrics. I am more of the business-minded individual between the two of us. If you can come up with any information that might be assist us in our search, I would be very grateful to you all.
Of course.
And you see, he unfolds his arms and gestures to the exit to the wagon. If you find anything, please report it to Burley, and he will bring it directly to us both.
Understood.
And you're led out of the wagon, and outside, and you're led sort of away from their wagon by Burley, who pulls you to the side and around a wagon, and removes his jack-o'-lantern helmet, revealing a very worried expression. Right, listen. Bad things have been happening at the carnival for a while now, okay? People and things have been going missing, and my bosses, they know more than they're telling. But their hands are tied somehow. You're the first people who I've met who might be able to set things right. Mr. Witch and Mr. Light are very good people. But you need to leverage them to spill the beans, because I need to know what's going on.
Well, they were speaking to someone else just now, quite almost as if they were the either a boss or at least a business partner at the very least.
Yes, if you need some leverage to get what you want out of them, you see he kind of looks nervously around as he's like very nervous about what to say. See, during the big top that's taking place right now, it's the only time Mr. Witch and Mr. Light are separated. Mr. Witch is usually in the wagon, and Mr. Light is usually on the stage. I don't condone theft or thievery, but if you manage to get Mr. Witch's watch without anybody noticing, you'll be able to get whatever information you need out of them, as long as you can return it to them. Now again, I don't condone this. I don't condone theft or thievery, but they're definitely not telling the whole truth with things. And like I said, they're not bad people. I just don't know what's going on.
We will think of that. We will think of that as a last resort. He like glares at Velvet.
Hey, he said it first. Don't you look at me.
See, and if you can't get the watch, Mr. Light's weather vane, you see him carrying around quite a lot. That's also a bit of leverage that they could use. Without the watch, the carnival can't stay on schedule, and without the weather lane, they have no control of who the Witchlight monarch will be.
Understood. Again,
the watch on Mr. Witch is attached by a chain on his waistcoat. So if you're trying to get a little sticky-fingered with it, you'll have to break the chain or unfasten it, okay?
Yep.
See, there are some people in the Witchlight Carnival who feel like myself. I'm pretty sure you've met them, you know, Durla, Candlefoot, and Plosher. They're all good eggs, okay? But stay away from Thocko.
Huh?
Thocko. Thocko.
Oh, no, okay, I thought you said something else.
Thocko.
Can you type it?
Thaco. Thocko.
Okay.
I thought he said something else.
He's untrustworthy, okay? And he's pretty obvious to spot. He's barely a fairly plump man, smoking habit, terrible thing. Don't trust him. But if you need help from any of the Witchlight hands, like I said, Durla, Candlefoot, and Plosher might be able to help you with what you're trying to do, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Again, I don't condone it. If you can help them without doing any of this, that'd be most beneficial, but if push comes to shove, please, the Witchlight Carnival means a lot to me and a lot of the people here. Without it, we have nowhere to go.
understood. Again, we'll keep it as a last resort, if at all possible.
You see he puts his back on his jack-o'-lantern helmet. Right, let me lead you out of the area, folks. Staff area only. And he leads you out of the big top. If you can move your token to outside the big top, you guys can choose where you're heading next.
So we're looking for the voice still.
I
Yes.
suppose so.
And just to keep an eye out, see if anything else, what information we can get.
So we're definitely not stealing the clock.
Not unless we absolutely have to, I don't think. But I guess the last thing is to investigate the places we
Snow Racing, Pixie, and Bubble.
haven't been. Yeah.
I forget, did we go to
Calliope?
Calliope?
No, but you walked past it, and I described what it was. It was just a music event with
Okay.
a little individual.
Well, if we're looking for tricksy things, maybe the Pixie.
We could try the Pixie Kingdom. The Pixies are quite mischievous. Usually they don't do anything to knowingly mess things up too much, but you
Ooh,
know.
maybe I could return the pixie dust. Would they be offended if I did that?
I have no clue. One thing could offend them one day and not offend them the next. They are quite unique in their thinking.
Hmm,
So, are you heading over to the Pixie Kingdom?
we are.
Yeah, let's head over to Pixie Kingdom.
Okay. Move your token on over.
Pixie Kingdom.
You head on over to the Pixie Kingdom. A corpse of an oak tree shelters a miniature fairground. You see kind of like a very tall oak tree that is sort of hollowed out with a door at the bottom. And you see a pixie stood behind a little table as she looks up at you all, beckoning you to lean down.
Ferrari will do so.
Mm-hmm.
Are we heading into Pixie Kingdom?
Yes.
Right, that's one ticket punch, and don't pull it out yet. There's some things we need to do first.
Yes.
Understood.
My name is Jeremy Plum,
Hello, Jeremy.
and we sure you're heading to Pixie Kingdom.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
100%.
Yes.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
100,000 million%.
Why
Yes.
are
Yup.
you asking this?
Very good.
What's in the picture?
You see, he flutters up around you all and sprinkles you all with some very strange dust,
Oh,
and you begin
Oh,
to
no.
shrink
Oh.
down.
smaller and smaller
Oh,
before you eventually reach the size of a pixie. And he stands
Let's
before you
go.
all. That's much better. Right, we're heading into Pixie Kingdom.
Yes. Here's
Yep.
my ticket.
Before, yes, pass me your tickets, and he punches a hole in all of your tickets. Right. Before heading in, you will have to adopt a pixie name, as it is tradition within the Pixie Kingdom. You, sir, you with the green hair,
Mr. Good.
Mr. Goodberry. Can you sign your name here before entering in? It is a mandatory. You will cause no harm or destruction to the kingdom.
I would never.
Very good. And can you roll me D8 while you do that?
To get your pixie name.
Mm-hmm.
7.
You look like a... He taps a pen to his lip. Puddlemud! Your name is Puddlemud.
So
Puddle
hold on. I need to get these written down because I know this is important.
So, you are now Mr. Puddlemud.
Puddlemud.
Please address yourself to other pixies as your pixie name. And please wear these wings.
I am Puddlemud. Here are my wings.
Puddlemud.
He turns to Ferrari. Can you please sign here on this piece of paper to say you do no harm or damage to the kingdom within? And you look like a... please roll me D8. Please roll me D8.
you silly bitch.
I wasn't hearing anything. I rolled a 2.
You look like a cobweb. You are Miss Cobweb.
Thank you.
Here's your wings.
Suicide.
And to you two, the blue and the cat, please sign on these papers that you will do no harm or damage to the kingdom. And you both please roll me D8.
The blue and the cat.
It's gonna be a 7 from me.
Roll me another one. We've already had 7.
Yeah.
I got an 8.
God damn it. I have to roll it again. Did we roll a 4 yet?
We have not.
Okay, so 4.
Right. For you, Tabaxi, you look like a jelly bean starfish.
Can I pick it? Can I get a different one?
No. Here's your wings.
Oh,
And for you, good sir, you look like Dimple.
Ah, yes.
Here's your wings.
Does my companion need to as well? And he points to.
Oh, your little
Slushy.
friend. You look like a bright mite. And he hands you another set of wings to put on him.
That actually makes some bright might, you said?
okay.
Yep.
Double wings.
Yeah, he has his wings furled up just to wear the other ones.
Right. Before we head inside, I just need to quickly. So, you, good sir, what is your name? And he points to Cassinity.
Tarmac was muted, Puddle Mud.
Ah, Mr. Puddlemud, headed on side. The door opens for you. And for you, miss, points to Verari.
Cobweb.
Very good. And to you, sir, pointing to Jackson.
I am Dimple.
And your companion.
Bright might.
And for you, our feline friend.
Jelly bean, the starfish.
Ah, beautiful. Head inside. The kingdom will have all of the fixtures you need.
I got the worst one. I swear to God.
As you head inside, the Pixie Kingdom is a tranquil oasis compared to the rest of the bustling carnival. The air is filled with the aroma of blackberry wine and flower blossom. Eight brightly painted doorways are nestled in the bark at the bases of the surrounding trees. At
I
the
got
center
coolest name.
of this oak tree that is filled with a kingdom is a miniaturized fairground, and at its heart a hamster runs on a tiny Ferris wheel, encircled by minuscule wagons and candy stalls, and a pixie sits cross-legged at the hollow tree stump at the entrance, which is the person you just spoke to.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Coolest name.
Heading inside, you see 12 pixies are inside here with you. They are very friendly, very curious, and eager to ask all of you questions about your travels, your adventures, how you're doing at the Witchlight, what have you done thus far, and you tell them all of the acts, all the things that you've done here, all the achievements that you've done, and eventually they stop and look at you all and go, well, for all the questions, I am going to sort of show you around, or not tell you really. I'm not going to show you. I have to stay here if I get in trouble with Mr. Butcher, Mr. Light again, and we don't want that. That's not to be good. But you see, there is a little street over here that has various foods and things you can eat. There's little cottages around with other pixies that live here. The hamster in the middle, his name is Biscuit.
Biscuit. Very
Biscuit.
nice name.
If you wish to explore, you are free to go, but please don't head to the top of the kingdom. That is for residents of Pixie Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
Well, understood.
And you head inside and looking around the Pixie Kingdom.
Let's go.
Looking around, you're all wandering around together. There are a few other people here that got shrunk down and put in here. Various people. There's a few humans, an orc. What you see, a Kenku wandering with wings, along with what did you call them? Tieflings. Sorry, I forgot what tiefling was for a second. And you guys can head around and investigate the Pixie Kingdom. There isn't a map for Pixie Kingdom. There are just things where you have to go look for, and I basically just have to tell you what you find.
Sad a biscuit.
Gotcha.
I want to see the Kenku.
You heading over to the Kenku?
Yes.
Okay. To the rest of you, so we've got one person heading over to Biscuit. What about you, Jackson?
As I see, good. I see good. Well, I will refer to him by his name, Puddle Mud. As I see Puddle Mud, going over to just a random dude. Jackson kind of clocks that like he might be just wandering off. I think he's gonna stick with Puddle Mud for a bit, just kind of chilling.
Okay. And Velvet, what are you doing?
Biscuit.
Biscuit. Okay. What we're going to do is we'll take another break here, and we'll pick up after everyone's got some water and whatnot, because my throat is killing me. Everyone scream. Other folks, we do hope you're enjoying the episode thus far, and if you are, please consider hitting the like and subscribe button. It helps much more than you know. Thank you. So, after the second break in this episode, the third break in the entire series, we find ourselves in the Pixie Kingdom with our fellas.
Third break, the fucking.
So we have two people heading over to Biscuit and two people heading over to what seems to be a Kenku heading through the Pixie Kingdom. We'll first go to the group heading to Biscuit. Right. As you head over to the hamster, you see Biscuit is running around in his little enclosure, surrounded by 8 wicker carriages. There's a few pixies there just trotting around, just relaxing, enjoying the kingdom. As you approach, you see Biscuit is talking, seemingly to themselves, like, today's been very boring. I hope people visit soon. I'm very bored. And you see one of the pixies go, Biscuit, you're talking again. And they feed Biscuit some treats, which seems to, I'm sorry, I'm kind of stop. He begins eating, and because the only way to really seemingly keep Biscuit quiet is by feeding them. You approach.
I love them.
I love them.
Anything you guys doing?
I am gonna approach and say, hello, Biscuit.
Biscuit stops in their tracks and turns 180 to face you. Friends! Hi, hello! You're not pixies, who are you?
Adventurers! I am Cobweb. I'm Cobweb, and this is Jellybean Starfish.
Pleasure to meet. I am Biscuit.
It is lovely to meet you, Biscuit.
It is a
I've heard.
pleasure.
Hi. I heard a bit about you, and I wanted to come say hello.
You heard about me? What are they saying about me?
Well, I just heard of your name, and I heard what you are, and I thought, oh, I just had to come talk to this Biscuit and hear about them and learn about them.
You see the other pixies like look at you and go, I presume you keep them busy for a while.
She nods.
And they wander off, leaving you totally alone with Biscuit. And Biscuit rushes over to the little fence and sits on like their front paws on the top fence. I love to chat. I am quite the chatterbox, I've been called a few times, and I would love to just have a conversation with some people that aren't pixies, because the pixies don't like it when I talk, and they get very bored, and I get very bored, and then I start talking to myself, and then they get annoyed, but then they give me food to make me quiet, but then I don't like eating too much food because then it makes my stomach hurt, and have you heard the rumours?
What, you've heard rumors?
Yeah.
I would love to hear.
Have
the
you met
rumors.
Candlefoot the mime?
I have met Candlefoot.
Did you know that he's in love with Plushy the mermaid?
I do know that.
But you know, on top of that, Candlefoot also lost his voice.
I did know that.
Is that part of his act? You know, as a mime, they don't talk. They just make shapes.
He's magically lost. Someone stole it.
You think so?
No, I know so.
You know so?
Mm-hmm.
How do you know
He can't speak at all. He can't speak at all. We saw a very disturbing event at the Illusionary Hall, and usually when you see disturbing events, you break your act. but he can't speak at all.
Well,
And he,
Mr.
Get
Witchlight
this.
is very, very firm on not breaking acts, the Witchlight.
no, get this. He has important information for Mr. Witch and Mr. Light, which he should break his act for, and they'd allow him to break his act for. But he can't tell them that information because he doesn't have his voice.
What?
I know, right?
Well, that just adds on to the troublemaker that I've heard so much about.
Oh, do tell me.
Everyone, and I mean everyone, is looking out for a Kenku, but they keep saying that she uses magic to disguise herself.
Mm,
And have you met
What is-
Burley, the bugbear? I like Burley.
mm. Can we go back to Kenku?
But you know Burley, he talks about philosophy with the gondola swans, you know, Featherine.
Philosophy?
Fe-
Yeah, let's go. Do you think he likes feathering?
Well, I think, you know, he's very strong, but I think he's got quite the brains on him, as much as the brawn, you know. I like Burley. He's nice to me.
I got to talk to Burley, and I think he's quite.
He visits sometimes. I wish he'd visit more.
If I get to talk to him, I'll tell him to come visit more, because you do seem like quite the
Yeah,
good
because
chatter.
all the pixies here are looking out for this troublemaker, and they can't seem to find them. You know.
What does the troublemaker disguise themselves as?
Everything.
Everything.
Renee, just out of character for a moment.
Yeah.
What does the biscuit look like? In the picture?
Let me see if there's an official biscuit artwork.
I imagine
I
if you get
hope so.
a giant space hamster, it'd be about
Giant space hamster.
yeah. And their little cousins, the miniature giant space hamsters, which are just hamsters.
Aren't the giant space hamsters and the miniature giant space hamsters quite deadly?
We don't have official artwork of biscuit, but just imagine just a genuine hamster that's just in a pixie kingdom because they're small enough to be here.
Fair enough.
Well, you see, right? Burley, he's asked me to keep a lookout because the pixies have been up to business. You see, but they're not telling me anything because I'm a chatterbox, as I've been told before. And I tried to leave to go see Burley, and they said it's too dangerous outside.
Is it alright to scratch you behind the ears?
Sure.
Let me see with you and
She's
scratching
very
talking
strange,
behind the ears.
You see, they put their head forward, and it's not much of a response because they're too busy all just talking constantly. Like, if you have any friends?
Oh yes, I do. I have a Puddle Mud and Dimple, and a little dragon named Bright Might. Obviously not our real names, but we're respecting customs.
They're not
here.
your real. Why are you not using your real names?
Because the customs. We need to respect it here, or else we'll get in trouble.
That's why everyone has such a funny name.
If you could leave, I'd tell you my real name, but we can't leave.
Yeah, they
so.
won't let me leave. They say it's dangerous outside, and I'm too small. But I think I'm big. This place is tiny.
I
Yeah,
am much larger than
this
this.
space is so tiny. We had to
If
shrunk
I left and went to my real size, you could fit in my hand.
Really?
Yes.
I've never been outside the Pixie Kingdom.
Oh.
That seems like a boring life.
I've always been just in here, and you see the little like pen they have them in. I've never really been outside of the pen.
Have you ever had a friend like you?
No.
Have you ever had friends in general?
Are we friends?
Yeah.
Then yes.
Well, I'm gonna talk to someone about getting you someone in here that you can spend time with, because that's
Really?
sad.
I keep trying to go speak to Mr. Witch and Mr. Light because everyone says they're in charge, but I never get to go speak to them because apparently I'm too small and the outside's too big and they won't listen to me. But I just thought it'd be nice to.
I'll talk to Burley, because Burley is their voice in their eyes and whatever.
Yeah, I like Burley. He comes to visit sometimes. You kind of catch on that biscuits, for a hamster, they don't really have a lot of intelligence. So they very quickly loop back to conversations because I've already forgot that they happened.
You know, I'm somewhat of a gossip myself.
Yeah, they call me Chatterbox, you see.
Feathering.
Yes, everyone talks about feathery.
She talked to me.
Really?
I went down the rivers with her. I was with my friends, and I was one of the people she talked to.
And as you're talking, we'll go to the other group who are approaching a Kenku. I will say to all of you, they don't look like a Witchlight hand. They just look like a fairgoer like yourselves. You are approaching just a person.
Yeah, at this point, Jackson's just following Goodberry. Like he's just making sure he's not getting up to any mischief.
I would.
You. So what are you gonna do? You're approaching the Kenku.
Yes. Hello there, how are you?
She stops on her heels and her head turns over her shoulder. Yes.
I am Puddle Mud. How are you?
They made you have one of those silly names too, then I guess.
Yes, what is yours?
She pauses for a moment. Candle.
Well, nice to meet you, Candle.
Pleasure.
The way they're speaking, can I make a check to see if they just came up with that on the spot, or if like
Robin,
that was...
insight.
Alrighty. Insights. It's gonna be 18.
They seem genuine.
Okay, it's just the way they're talking. Alrighty.
So what brought you to the carnival?
It's exciting and rare.
Are you having fun here so far?
Yes. I've a little bit.
Something seems to be on your mind. Would you like to talk?
I'm more perplexed why two strangers are stopping me in a carnival to have a chat. I don't work here, and I don't look like I work here.
Oh, I didn't think you worked here.
Then why are we talking?
I like to make friends.
That's where we differ.
Well, I'm sorry you don't like to make friends. If you ever do, I'm always around. And do a little wink.
Mm-hmm. Then what about you, Mr. Blue?
I'm just following this guy so he doesn't cause trouble.
Keep him on a tighter leash next time. How about that?
Leash, she said.
Jackson sort of like squints and just, I don't quite like the tone you're deciding to use.
I don't like to be stopped by strangers in a carnival.
Jackson at this point is a little suspicious. He just, all right, come on, Puddlewood, let's go. And like kind of like grabs Goodberry's shoulder and like kind of turns him away.
Yes, Dimple, I guess we will.
And they rush off rather quickly once you turn.
Quite suspicious, right? Just like to Goodberry.
Very suspicious.
And you head back over to your friends. We're having a deep conversation with Biscuit, because I've been rolling to see what they're talking about. Aurora, you, Velvet, and Biscuit are now on a very deep conversation about the colour of the sky, because Biscuit has never seen the sky.
Ferrari is describing the sky in all of its stages. She's like, most times when it's a day out, it's this very beautiful blue. Sometimes when storms roll in, it's this gray. During the time when the nighttime starts rolling in, it's these oranges, purples. This like deeper blue starts rolling in. In the nighttime, it's this very deep blue, almost black, inky. The sky is such a lovely color, and I regret that you've not had the chance to see it.
Well, you see, they begin eating again. Oh, see, that's nice and all, but what's nighttime?
Nighttime is when people sleep.
What's sleep?
It's when you close your eyes and your body rests.
Oh, that's what that was.
At this point, Jackson will walk over and just be like, hey, Ferrari?
Yes.
He kind of like turns and goes,
Are these your
having a
friends?
chat?
These are my friends. This is Puddle Mud, and she points to Goodberry, and this is Dimple.
Hello, I'm Biscuit.
At this point, Sparky will like kind of go and like come around Jackson and just kind of like look at this hamster.
Oh, and that's Bright Mite.
You see Biscuit, mouth open, eyes wide. What is it?
It's a dragon.
A what? They look away for a second as you say dragon. A what?
Dragon.
A dear friend?
This one is, yes.
At this point, Sparky kind of like just pounces over a little bit and like leans up to lean up against the fence.
Biscuit goes wild, jumping around their pen excitedly, eagerly trying to get Sparky to join them.
Let me. Oh yeah, no, Sparky has no self-restraint. He just jumps up if he can.
Those two just go wild in the pen. They're dancing around, Biscuit sharing food while all of you can have a chance to have a conversation.
So, hey guys,
Dimple.
have you learned anything about
Biscuit. Yes, Biscuit let me know that there has been a Kenku causing trouble and shape changing around the carnival.
At this point, Jackson just sighs. Yeah, about that. Kind of rubs his head a little bit.
Yes.
Wish we would have known that sooner, because I think me and Puddlebutt here have found them and then just let them go.
I forget, what is it about Kenkus?
Bird.
That's a short.
Would I?
That's a short.
Would Jackson know that I know, would Jackson know about their
Yeah, anybody who has spent time in cities and around like civilization, everyone knows that some like because in this world, the lore dump for the viewers, in this homebrew world, I like to use a little bit of the canonical old Kenkus and the new Kenkus. Old generation Kenkus suffer from their voices being taken, and they have to use mimicry to use a voice. But the newer Kenkus that were no longer cursed can speak with their own voices. So there are still some Kenkus in the world that have to use mimicry to speak.
Like the Kenku we met in Seoul that Virari was slowly convincing to no longer use the human disguise.
So
Hey,
Okay.
Dimple.
uh-huh.
Do you think we found who stole the
I think we
voice?
were listening to his voice. I don't think that was if our suspicions are correct, that may have been his voice, not the Kenkus. Because they did seem a bit robotic, did they not, in how they were pronouncing things?
Don't they have a similar name too?
Yeah. Yeah, you're quite right. Actually, I didn't think about that till just now.
Yeah, let's go,
We should probably go find them again, right? At this point, they've definitely
Can
changed,
we leave
but
Sparky with Biscuit? Oh, Bright Might with Biscuit?
does it look like
well, you said we were
Uh,
keeping an eye on them while we're walking away, right?
Sorry?
if
Or
you
Jackson,
were
you? I thought you said you were.
definitely would have. I don't think I voiced it though, so that's up to DM's discretion.
What, keep an eye
All we
on,
know is that they,
on the Kenku?
yeah.
Roll me a perception check, and we'll kind of rewind it a little bit for that check as you were keeping an eye on them.
Yeah. It seems like Sparky's having a good time with Biscuit, right?
Mhm.
I think we can come back around for Sparky. I think Sparky having some time with another person. Sparky does not understand what Biscuit is saying to him, but he's just going with it. That is going to be at 18 on perception.
As you were leaving, you saw the Kenku kind of slip down one of the streets where they sell food, and a few moments later, someone left the alleyway, sort of like a humanoid wearing wings.
Okay. Yeah.
We should probably go. My Dimple
Yeah.
friend.
Bright Light here can chill with Biscuit. I think he would enjoy it. He's not understanding a word Biscuit is saying to him, just so that everyone knows, but he is definitely having a good time. So
And
I
we'll
think
be on-
I saw who this individual may have turned into, and we'll keep an eye out.
Operation Find a Kenku.
Okay. So are you heading through the Pixie Kingdom looking for this individual?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
They're probably doing a similar disguise. Do we have to keep our names, by the way?
Yes.
Well, you're in
I think
Pixie Kingdom.
when anyone refers to us or we refer to each other, I think it has to be.
Yeah.
But
Right now
if,
we were still in the kingdom.
yeah,
Okay.
we're looking around in the kingdom. In the kingdom.
So you head down towards you last saw the Kenku, all keeping an eye out on individuals that might look a little bit out of place, or someone who's keeping an eye on you. Can all of you roll me a perception check, please?
Absolutely.
And please seldom say it one at a time, just for the editors. Easy
I'm looking
editing.
for bird-like mannerisms.
I got an 11.
Oh, sorry, was that for all of us? Fuck.
Yes, please.
Yep.
Um,
I got a 24.
oh god.
19.
Velvet?
12.
Okay, yeah, fucking. You head down to where you last saw, and you're all keeping an eye on the crowd of people. There is, like, humanoid figure you did see, Jackson, you remember, with fucking stupid 24.
That's what I get with having a perception proficiency.
You keep an eye on that individual, and Rory is pointing out bird mannerisms, and you see this individual is, like, turning the head too fast, really quickly in like 90-degree angles. And you point out and you rush over and they take off running. And you're all in a very hot pursuit through Pixie Kingdom, sliding over wagons, jumping over tables, like rolling through crowds, pushing them out of the way to get to this individual. Who eventually, let me roll. I roll. Now, one. They corner themselves. They can't turn, they can't run past you, they cannot push past you, and their back presses against the wall, and they drop their disguise self spell, and they're stood in front of you, staring at you. What do you want?
We just want to talk. That is all.
We've done enough talking, you followed me, and now, at least, and you see that she's getting quite agitated, and she's gripping something beneath her robe.
Hey, listen. We're trying to get a figure on things, okay? Don't need to be rash. If you answer some questions, we'll let you go.
Fine. You see, in Born From Us is what you're speaking to.
Jackson will kind of like keep it distance, and he goes, "Look, am I correct to assume you've been the one causing some issues here?
And if I was?
Just trying to figure out why? Seems like a nice place enough."
Maybe I have.
Well, why are you causing so much trouble? I mean, there's got to be a reason.
It is my business alone why I'm causing so much trouble, and I don't wish to share it with strangers.
All right.
Especially
Just
those who are the Mr. Witch and Mr. Light's lack dogs.
Hey, I'm gonna be straight with you. Only reason I'm even pursuing this is because we have a job to do of our own, completely separate from the festival. Looks around and goes, "We're trying to get into the Feywild to track down a kid that was kidnapped. That's literally the only reason I have to pursue any of this."
Well, I am doing what I'm doing to get Mr. Witch and Mr. Light to divulge why they are keeping members of the circle within the carnival.
Okay, we can work with. Let's make a deal. Because I'm sure we can get this all figured out.
A feather sort of flare out when you say the word deal. What are you, Fae? Making deals?
No, and I have no magical right to keep you to them. I can assure you that much. If you come with us peacefully, we can assure no harm comes to you, and we can both get the information we want from Mr. Witch and Mr. Light together.
I go with you. You cannot stop them for what they want to do to me.
I can assure you, as a member of the Adventure Society, I will let no harm come to you.
You don't know what they are, or what they're capable of.
Maybe not, but rather it be us or someone else, they will keep trying, and eventually your luck will run out. All I'm saying is this is a solution to get what we both want.
We like to have friends. I mentioned it earlier.
Well, my last visit to Mr. Witch and Mr. Light's wagon, I heard them having a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And with her mimicry trait, she speaks in Mr. Witch and Mr. Light's voice, starting with Mr. Light's voice saying, "Something is going on. Someone is going to find out about this. They'll shut us down." Followed by Mr. Witch, who is calm but yet firm, saying, "We agreed to this pact. Our hands are forced, but our eyes we're open. We let the circle take what it wants, and in return we stay in business. That's what you want, is it not?" And she shakes away that and speaks to you normally. That's why I'm not going with you, because if I do, I will surely be on the end of the circle.
Now, I understand, but we are trying to get to the bottom of things just as much as you are. If, again, I can assure you that you will remain with us until we get the information we want. They're looking really bad to hunt you down, and if we can use that as leverage to get the information we need, perhaps everything can work out as we all want it to. Like I said, they will just keep chasing you down, and they will find someone who won't be as nice about all of this as we are. I'm just offering a solution that doesn't involve anyone getting hurt.
She squints at all of you. "And what about the rest of you, You along with his plan?"
Yes, we're part of the same group.
We've all been through hell.
I want to see the cult burn, so anything that leads to the cult burning is for me.
Very well. I presume you want Candlefoot's voice back?
It would be nice, yes.
See, she produces a cornhusk doll with a thorny stem tied around its neck, and the doll represents Candlefoot. Very well. As long as you swear that I will come to no harm by the hand of Mr. Witch or Mr. Light.
I give you my word, and my
I
honor.
give you something better. And Varai's going to step forward and pluck out one of her flight feathers and hand it to the Kenku.
Okay, roll me persuasion checks to those who have done something to try to persuade her.
Okay.
Persuasion.
I rolled a 19.
I rolled a 14.
Not 20 plus 6.
Oh boy.
Okay. She hands
Mr.
forward
Goodwing.
the cornhusk doll before untying the thorny stem around the neck. And she speaks in a mixture of voices that she's sort of carried over the years. It's done. He has his voice back.
Thank you. And you see Jackson's going to pull out the little the cupcake he has that can grant invisibility.
Mhm.
In case they try to get squirrely and attempt to do something rash, this may help you. Again, I assure you no harm will come to you, and if we have to get our information another way, then so be it. And he'll hand it over.
Very well.
So, what has the cult done to you?
I lost quite a fair bit to the cult. My home and what I considered family at the time.
A lot of families have been affected by the cult.
They attack the most vulnerable.
That we know well.
We're trying to make that right.
And I'm trying to get to the Feywild, but with my pack, with my patron, I am forbidden from going to such place, so...
What are you trying to find there?
I believed if I could head to the Feywild and speak with my patron, even though breaking my pact, I could persuade her to assist me in removing this scourge from the material plane.
Are you, I'm assuming, not allowed to indulge who your patron is? Most cannot.
She shakes her head.
Understood. Well, if there's any way we can help, we will surely try.
All I ask is if you do manage to get to where you're going, you can speak to my patron.
We will surely try. We can do that much at least.
I presume we're going to the big top to speak with Mr. Witch and Mr. Light. I will disguise myself as we are heading there, but I will not leave your side. I will not run away. But just for the safety of you, and if they are planning on dealing with me sooner rather than later, I'd rather not get caught in the middle of the carnival.
That's very understandable.
With that, where are you guys heading?
Do we want to head straight there, gang?
Well, we gotta fetch Sparky.
Oh, we do have to fetch Sparky.
This is
So
true.
we'll...
Oh, but Biscuit's gonna be left all alone.
Yes, he will be fine.
Yeah, we'll head over that way to get Sparky, and then head over to the big top.
As you gather Sparky and head out of the Pixie Kingdom after wishing the best for our dear Biscuit, you head outside. I've moved the hours correctly to where you guys are. You are 2 hours away from the crowning of the Witchlight Monarch.
So are we outside the rules now of that area?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, you're no longer in the Pixie Kingdom. You are returned to your normal sizes. You return your pixie, in quotation, wings. You guys all regather. Then head over to the staff area. Can you guys move your token?
Token time.
You head over into the staff area with your new companion, which you have not yet asked their name. They are disguised themselves as in their previous human disguise, and they're following on very closely. Burley greets you just before heading into the staff area and looks at you, arms crossed. Reason for your visit?
We have news for Mr. Witch and Mr. Light.
He looks around and lifts off his helmet. Did you consider the plan?
I don't think it'll be necessary.
You see, he looks a little disappointed because, alright, well, head on over.
And we will head over.
You head on over, you knock on the wagon door, which opens itself, and you see Mr. Witch and Mr. Light sat in there together. Mr. Light looks quite exhausted from running the Big Top Extravaganza, as it was going on while you were inside the Pixie Kingdom. And his brother is there, he's sat in his chair, smoking quite a large cigar, rocking back and forward in his chair, and he speaks up. Ah, the adventurous, ow, my everything.
It's like you've had it rough.
I presume you haven't come here with this chit-chat?
No, we do have news, but well, I just want to make sure of a few things first before we fully divulge.
Okay.
This individual you're seeking, can we be assured of their safety and well-being?
Safety? You think we want to hurt them?
I'm just covering my bases here. I don't know what your plan is, but you wouldn't divulge that much. I just need to make sure.
Oh, we don't want to hurt anybody, do we, brother? His brother is silent.
Kind of looks at him, and he goes, "Yeah, right." Jackson's like looking.
Of course, we would never want to hurt anybody.
Can I make an insight check on this guy to see if something's up?
I'm also an insight because 2 insights is better than 1.
3 insights are better than 1. Never mind.
59 insights. I rolled a 15.
I rolled an 18.
He seems genuine.
Seems genuine? Alright. Jackson sort of nods and he goes, "Yes, and what is the plan for this individual then?"
Well, if I can speak for my brother, we merely want to question why they're causing such a ruckus at the Witchlight Carnival, and see if we can alleviate some of their worry or stress that they might have, and make sure they have a good time at the carnival. Because if everyone's having a bad time, then, you know.
He got nods, and I want to kind of. Our companion is still here, disguised, right? And they haven't questioned us about
As
it, or
you
they?
got closer to the big top, they went from like a normal adventuring person to disguise himself as a Witchlight hand, and they're outside the wagon pretending to tend to things outside.
Does it seem like they've been hearing
Well, they're definitely
what's been
listening
happening?
in.
Okay. Jackson sort of nods. He goes, "Yeah, well, just making sure, because I do believe we found them, and we assured them their safety from anything, and
Do
we."
you have proof of that you have found them?
You see, he kind of holds a hand up. He goes, "As soon as I'm sure we will all get the information we seek, then I will reveal my hand.
See Mr. Witch, like, raises his bottom lip to sort of signify, okay, well played, well played. Well, what can I, Mr. Witch, and my brother, Mr. Light, do for you?
We would like any information of any known way into the Feywild that we may be able to acquire. And then our mutual interest would also like to ask some questions as well regarding some information that it seems you are withholding.
The Feywild, why would you want to go there?
Hags have messed with us quite a few many times, and we're trying to retrieve something or someone that was stolen.
Going to deal with a hag on home territory.
Only way to get rid of them for good.
That's a brave choice.
It's the only choice we have.
And as for your stowaway, what do they want to know?
At this point, Jackson will kind of like whistle to get our companion's attention.
She steps into the wagon, the door closing behind her, and she drops her disguise. And that's where we're going to end today's session.
Oh, you bitch.
Let's go.
Thank you all for attending. This has been episode
15.
We're getting very close to the Feywild. I hope you all had a wonderful time, as I had a wonderful time DMing. One of our longer sessions, about almost 2.5 hours, a little bit over.
About it. It's been a long time.
At the time of recording, we have just officially gone over 5,000 total views on the channel. We're very close to 50 subscribers. I want to thank you all for whoever's watching for watching, and if you are new, consider liking and subscribing to the channel. It helps out more than you know. If you could drop a comment down below saying that you were here. And it's not just about me, it is about the lovely people here at BNKR. Castanity, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at BNKR.
And Jackson?
You find me at Claude the DM on YouTube.
And Saturn, also known as Ferrari.
You can find me on Twitch at Saturn BNKR.
And our dearest Velvet.
You can find me on Twitch, and that's about it, at Velvet BNKR.
And before we end today's session, I just fucking annihilated the screen. The editor's gonna hate me for that.
Oh no!
But if you are looking at the channel, at the time of recording, our Claw the DM is going to be running a campaign, on the channel. I won't spoil too much, as we're trying to keep it a little hush-hush on the videos. But hopefully, by the time you're seeing this, there are already episodes being recorded and uploaded to this channel. And hopefully, it's something you guys enjoy.
Yummy.
Again, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you the same time, same place, as usual. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
See you, everyone.